What's up, guys? It is Will here, back again for another episode of Lights, Camera, Dean the Dream. 166 Collects. There is no Kiko Collects. Guys, Kiko Collects is actually at a tomato festival this Friday evening. So he has his family coming into town, Dean, coming from Cincinnati to Tennessee. And apparently they wanted to go to something called a tomato festival. I've never heard of that shit before. And I was telling Marco about it before. He said there's an asparagus festival. They make festivals for anything nowadays, I can only assume.
Literally anything.
That does, honestly, though, I'm white, so I can say this. It does sound like the whitest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. A tomato festival, dude. That is wild. Like, what do you even do there? Like, I like tomatoes as much as the next guy. But do they need a whole festival, Marco? That's the question.
You know, it's just a celebration of tomatoes, I would imagine. You've got pasta sauce, ketchup, infinite possibilities. So I'm kind of jealous now. And I kind of wish that I was at the tomato festival.
Honestly,
there's only two possibilities.
That's true. Honestly, Dean, Marco does make a good point.
Tomatoes salad.
That's
there you
true.
go.
Tomatoes are kind of crucial, though. I mean, think about pizza, right? Like,
exactly.
I mean, where would we be as a world?
I'm already thinking about pizza, so we're good.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, Dean. Like, where would we be? Spaghetti? I mean, like, there's a lot of shit where tomatoes are kind of important.
I had meatloaf today.
It had tomatoes in it?
I'm the kind of guy that puts ketchup on top of my meatloaf.
Oh, okay.
Straight to prison, Dean.
I think you put tomatoes
No,
on
you put it on top of it and then you bake it.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, people will do that. I wouldn't do it, but people do it. Yeah. Like a lot of times, like I used to go to like a college cafe when I was in undergrad school, and then basically they had meatloaf and they would put the kilo of ketchup on it. So yeah, I thought it was good.
It tastes totally different when you bake it. It doesn't like taste like ketchup.
For some reason, I always fuck up meatloaf. I don't know how. But like my mom makes it perfect, but I never do it right.
Yeah. My sister made it. Oh, it's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Panko in there. Some olives.
See, I mean, honestly, tomatoes have inspired this wonderful conversation.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I think
I'm kind of upset we're not there celebrating.
We might actually be getting a surprise from Kiko from the tomato festival. So we're going to see, or maybe prior to the tomato festival, we'll see exactly. But guys, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it. We were just 1 minute behind today. We're still going to blame Kiko, even though he's not here, because usually when we're late, I like to pin it on Kiko because honestly, it is typically his fault. Normally he's gardening or he's like playing with the weens or doing something and making us run late. But today,
he's not actually here. Ween?
Yeah, he has 3 of them. 3 weens. 3 weens.
Wow.
Yeah. It's some kind of like it's some kind of like growth or something. I don't know. Dean, did you hear that the fish bit Kiko? Did you hear about that?
A what?
So this will be quick, guys. I promise. The chat's already heard the story. Kiko was peeing in a lake, and for whatever reason, he was in the water, whipped his thing out, like instead of just peeing in his shorts, and a fish bit the tip of his dick twice.
Oh my lord!
And he had
you could never get me to admit that on stream, and the fact that he was so open with it.
Dude, he loved it. I think he loved the attention, honestly. But I will say, like, why he said he didn't want to pee in his shorts. I'm like, you're in the water anyway. Who cares? Like, just do it. Like, yeah, but it was all about that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate everyone. By the way, thank you so much. Everyone's been super kind about 10K. I appreciate that, man. I'll give all of you a round of applause for the support. Guys, it's been honestly a wonderful journey. A lot of ups and downs, but really fun. Thank you so much for the support as always. I appreciate all of you guys for being so kind and supporting not just me, but these guys too, collecting weekly 166. There's a lot of great things to come from those channels as well. So I really appreciate that. Check out the collection tour after you've done this live stream here today, and then we'll kind of go from there. Guys, I think we have a special guest. I think a special guest coming in. So let's bring him in. The Tomato Head. Kiko, what is the Tomato Festival, bro? Tell the chat, please.
Okay. Is my mic on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so my mom and dad and Kristen and the sis and basically all the families.
Oh shit, Tim's there?
Yeah.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Now you know
everybody's here. So doing a family activity, and they're like, hey, there is a tomato festival downtown. We got to be a part of this. And I'm like, hey, Will, I hate to be that guy, but the family's in town. I wasn't thinking through all this, and they want to do this tomato festival. So Will starts to slander me on Instagram and says some bullshit. And I'm like, there's Drago. He's like, what the fuck is a tomato festival? Drago, come here. Do you want to be on camera?
Yeah, bring Drago on.
Here. Come here. Say what daddy.
Is that a PlayStation shirt? What is that? I know Squid Game. Squid Game. Come on, son. Okay.
So a tomato festival. So there's all kind in Americana, depending on which state you're in. And I know Dean can attest to this. There's all kinds of local festivals based on different fruits and veggies and things like that. Especially like apple festivals are huge around the fall. Pumpkin festivals are huge.
Peach festival.
Tomato. Go ahead.
No, yeah.
Just saying, Peach Festival is my favorite one, though.
Yeah, and so essentially it's a
asparagus, too.
celebration of whatever fruit or vegetable is featured. And obviously tomato being a very versatile fruit, mind you, there's all kinds of dishes and delicatessens built around tomatoes. And so my mom, who's extremely into all that type of stuff, she's like, I cannot wait. Please, let's go. I'm like, okay, let's go. So we'll be able to have, I guess, different type of pastas, salsas, things that tomatoes are a part of. And if you want to get some local grown tomatoes, there you go. So that's where I'm going to be this evening. But there are so many things, obviously, you guys are going to be talking about tonight that I'm so upset that I can't be about to talk about. Will, I have plenty of hot takes. So
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go. My mom's getting ready to pick me up. I just want to say 2 things, if that's okay, and we'll be done.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Go for it. Floor is yours.
Well, 3, because, I love Ben and I love Dean. So y'all my homies, whatever it may be. But I just want to say, if you're getting the Mark 80 Ironman, you are a poser and a FOMO chaser. So don't do that.
Dude, what the fuck?
So don't do that. And then when you talk about the JND the JND Harry Potter stuff, I want to know why JND is a bunch of racists, because all it is Asian Harry Potter. So you need to talk about that. And once again, it proves that JND is not a real company, because, as Will, I'm sure you're going to talk about, they don't want to talk to consumers. They got it all figured out. So you guys have so much stuff to talk about. I wish I could be here a part of it. Do you have any questions for me, sir, before I get going?
No, I think honestly, if people have questions, they need to hit you up on Instagram on the DMs. Kiko, I had your talking points. I was going to read them. I was like, Kiko wanted me to communicate these 3 talking points to you guys, but you just went over them, so it's fine. I think there was more on there too, but I'll look at it. And
feel free to look those over. My biggest one is like, stop being a poser and chasing it. If you only want one Iron Man, and you're like, oh, I think about getting it, then maybe the Mark 80 is for you. But if you have any other Iron Man and you even think about getting that because you want the fucking shawarma, stop. That is some bullshit. You're a FOMO chaser and you're a fake collector. So don't do that.
Kiko, honestly, the churro though, that was pretty dope.
It's not a churro, it's shawarma. Bro.
I know, but the Spider-Man had a churro.
Shawarma makes more. Well, they both kind of make sense.
Honestly,
Tony Stark and the Avengers ate shawarma. I get it, but if you are getting a damn Iron Man repaint, which is literally just the Mark 85 with a little bit of ketchup on it, come on now.
Yeah.
No, it's got all new design features. It says so.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, honestly, yeah.
And I realized I just realized I called Marco Ben.
You did, yeah, but I wasn't going to correct you. I didn't want to correct
you.
You're
not the first person. You're
honestly,
not the first person.
I don't think you guys really look alike. I mean, you're both, I don't know. I don't think you really look alike.
We both have facial hair.
Yeah, exactly. So do I, though. So I mean,
bad look for me. Bad look for me. Marco, feel free to blow my up. You can call me out. You can call me a piece of shit, whatever you want.
You could do me a favor, though, Kiko. When you're over there at the tomato festival, if you find tomato ice cream, you got to share it with us.
Yeah, dude.
You got to try it, and you got to let us know
what you think.
It's got to be.
I think so.
It's got to be, dude. It's got to be. Kiko, we got some people in the chat who said they prefer the Mark 80 over the 85. So
of course they would, because they're like, ooh, this is an exclusive. Maybe I can do this. Yeah. Don't do that, people. Don't disappoint yourself. But I know you guys have a great stream in front of you all. I don't want to take away from it, but I wanted to clear my name because that's where I'm going. Just spend some time with the family, eating some tomatoes. See, potato, tomato, Mark, Ben, it's all the same.
It's true. It is the same. Dean might as well be Zach at this point. Yeah, I think it's totally reasonable. So I will say, Kiko, dude, thanks so much for joining, man. Have a good time. Tell the family I said hello.
I will. They love you, Will, for sure.
Do they really? Okay, because I love them, dude. Kiko's family is fantastic, man. Yeah, Kiko, they were very generous and had showed so much hospitality to me when I stayed there with them. So that was awesome. And then Aegon peed on my bag. Luckily, Boba Fett was safe. But
you want to talk to him about that?
Yeah, Aegon, can I speak to him about it directly?
Yes, he's right.
Aegon, would you like to apologize live? He's like, no.
Apparently not.
He wants.
But I'll get out of your hair, guys. I love you all. I can't wait to be back with you again. But I'm gonna be watching this stream afterwards. So if you shit talk me or have bad streams or have bad takes, I'm gonna call you guys out on it. So
I mean, I'm gonna shit talk you for sure. It's totally fine. Sure. Yeah, totally fine. I already slandered you on Instagram, so it's fine.
Correct. Which is why I was like, I gotta make my appearance.
Yeah, exactly. All right, dude. Well, we'll catch up with you soon.
I'll see you guys. Bye.
All right, dude. Peace out.
The good thing is, if I have a shitty take, he's just going to tag Ben Thomas when he calls him out. So
he is going to tag Ben Thomas. When he called you Ben, I was just like, I just wasn't going to correct him. It's too much. He was on his full soliloquy. I wasn't going to jump in. So
again, not the first time it's happened. So apparently there's some similarity there. Obviously, from here up, when we go down, obviously not.
Exactly. It's very different at that point. But I will say I've been called other names before too, so it's totally fine. Kiko just texted me and said terrible look for me, and I was like, yeah, it's all good. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'm assuming Marco and Dean are doing great because they look great, they look happy and healthy. they're always full of sunshine and rainbows. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to jump into the first topic. We're going to get it going because you know what, guys? JND exists. And they're still making shit, okay? And I got to say, as much as people say sometimes, Will, another JND topic, I love when Kiko's around because he can always shit on JND. JND has a kind of a poor reputation right now, and they haven't even released anything yet as far as 1/6 scale goes. But they did decide to put up some Harry Potter figures. We knew these were coming. We knew there was a 3-pack coming. There's some light versions that are actually sculpted versions that are much cheaper, much more inexpensive. And now we have a Quidditch version, which is very unique because InArt never made a Quidditch version, at least not yet. Well, now they have a Quidditch version, silicone, rooted hair. It's $600. And I think this is something that we need to at least talk about because for the Harry Potter fans out there who maybe missed out on the InArt, I mean, of course, now J&D's come into the picture and made some offerings here. You can get the 3-pack. Harry has a head sculpt smiling, and then you have Ron and Hermione, which we'll show as well. And then this Quidditch version. The Quidditch version is actually $600, but if you buy the 3-pack of Ron, Harry, and Hermione, you get this one for 30% off. So at that point, it's like $400, right? So you're paying about maybe $1,900 for Harry, Ron, and Hermione, Harry, right? So not bad. I mean, it's a Quidditch figure. I think, honestly, this head sculpt, while not perfect from certain angles, I do see it. Other people said they don't see it at all. I guess it just depends on your, preference and your take on it. But I got to say, Marco, I got to ask you, bro, is this unique enough as a Harry Potter to be worth a $600 purchase? And also, I mean, look, a lot of people missed out on InArt, right? A lot of people missed out. They got Ron and Hermione, but they need a Harry. Can J&D fill that void? What are your thoughts on that?
So first of all, I won't bury the lead. No, it's not worth $600, right? They're trying to do that exclusive thing and then have a really high price point. And obviously we can acknowledge that this is their lower end price figures, right? Like this is the entry level figures. And so it's already crazily priced. J&D, obviously, like Kiko said, they're not listening to the consumers. They're not collecting feedback. They're not being really friendly with the 1/6 community like they should be if they want to be received really positively. Obviously, we're going to talk about InArt, towards the end of the stream here and their relationship with the community. But yeah, J&D is just, really, really close to being on their way out. And this is their first signs of life, I would say, at the very least. It's like something that's different, something that's interesting. Why not? Why did you not lead with this? Why not bring this out competitively priced? You know that InArt's doing the Harry Potter line. You could stand, in a different light than what they're already doing. And I think it would be an interesting product. But right now, they're already doing, the same thing that InArt's doing. This is just another one to add on to that pile. It's limited. It's overpriced. And so just at the end of the day, regardless of how good it looks, like I will say it looks nice. The head sculpt's a little bit suspect, but overall, I think the other pieces are nice. It just doesn't warrant a space in the 1/6 community or this line just doesn't have space in the collection, right? So unless you're just a hardcore Harry Potter fan, I just don't see why anyone would want this. So it's J&D just continues to make really odd moves and it's really disappointing. And I don't think that they're going to be around for much longer, unfortunately. And this is at least, one of their nicer offerings, but still a lot of issues with it.
Yeah, and dude, honestly, that's a fair take, man. The one thing I will say, again, I'm 100% with you before Dean hops in on this, but I'm 100% with you on J&D's sort of like, I guess, attitude rubbing the community the wrong way. I mean, that's definitely been something like the CEO posted on 1/6 Republic just yesterday on Facebook, actually. It was this morning, maybe, saying like, hey, like I'm the CEO, like I want to talk to you guys, answer whatever. But like they didn't really want to do that. Like, because then even I jumped in and I was like, hey, like I'm a YouTuber, like I would love to interview you guys. Here's my channel. And he was just like, oh, sometime. Like if I can translate that, that means no, right? Like that means, like he doesn't want to. And that's fine. Like maybe they don't like me, maybe, whatever, right? There's a million other channels they can interview with as well. But they seem like that to me kind of reads like lip service. It reads like they don't really want to talk to people. Like they just want to act like they are, right?
Especially at this point in the game, right? Lead with that if you really want to engage with us. Don't come in, during your 6th vigor and then, or even more at this point and say, oh, okay, now we want to talk.
Right. And I'm not under the assumption at all that we are entitled for them to talk to us. Like that is not at all my belief at all. I'm just saying don't act like you want to and then not really want to. Like that's my thing. Like, and I don't even think they seem to be taking the InArt approach in terms of the figures they're making, but I'm not necessarily saying they should take the InArt approach as far as communication goes. Like they could go somewhere in between, maybe between Hot Toys and that. But I just feel like I love their potential as far as 1/6 scale collecting, but I'm just not crazy about their business practices and their choices so far. I do think $600 for this is a lot, but at the end of the day, I mean, that's kind of JND for you, right? That's a little more reasonable than their other offerings, but this figure comes with almost nothing. I mean, it comes with a broom and some poles and a base, and that's pretty much it, right? So, I mean, for $600, I mean, it is silicone. I'm a little bit, I feel like, to me, they won't though. I feel like every time I look at this, I feel like they just need to ditch the silicone. Like, I feel like this could be so much better if they just ditch that. Like, it looks cool, but is it like you're raising the cost? But it just, some of it looks droopy sometimes. It makes the characters look older. Like, it just, so
it's too in the uncanny valley at this point.
hop in on this. What do you think?
But are they raising the cost for silicone? Because aren't there Ron, Hermione, and Harry? The other one's silicone? They're just not rooted?
They are silicone. They are rooted. Yep. See, there's a light version that's sculpted, and you do make a valid point. They are competitive with InArt prices. So I do disagree with Marco on that one front. I do feel like they have lowered their prices a little bit, right? I feel like, in terms of what Batman and Joker were compared to this, like, I mean, you're paying, what was Harry? The 3-pack was $15.99. With InArt, you probably paid more than that for the 3 figures, but you got a fuck ton more. Like, I mean,
way more stuff.
I can tell you, Dean, as someone who's reviewed that Harry Potter figure, it comes with a lot of shit.
Is
like,
your review up?
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, dude, you got to check it out. Yeah, so it was fun. It was fun to review. Honestly, I was actually like, I know I got a little bit of flack for this from a couple people, but like, I was a little bit unfortunate that Natalie, she had, been asking me to buy it a while back, and I was like, okay, like, I'll sell it to her. But then I was like, as I got it and unboxed it, I was like, I don't want to sell this. I was like, I don't want to, like, I was like, I really like, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but the figure is so good that I was like, but I can't do Natalie dirty like that. So, she really wanted it. She's a bigger Harry Potter fan than me, so I'm happy it's going to a good home. But Dean, anyway, hop in, bro. What do you think? Is this unique enough, or what are your thoughts on this?
It's not unique enough to be worth $600. Yeah, it's limited and it's rooted, like, I guess, sure. And the only reason why I'm even excited to see it is because 2 companies have now given us the same fucking figures. So it's like, damn, at least it's different, right? At least it's a different looking Harry. This is cool.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's only going to be, was it 300 of them?
300 units, yeah. Because I don't think they're going to sell a ton of them, honestly.
Yeah, is this true that you've got to buy the 3-pack in order to unlock purchasing this one as well?
No, you can get this one by itself, but if you want this one for 30% off, which then it's 400, so that's a lot better. Like, honestly, but I mean that. But then you got to get the $15.99 3-pack too. So
yeah, it's like, it is cool objectively, but $600. I mean, we're still talking about a child-sized figure.
Right.
And he's so bare bones, it's almost insulting. And like I said, even the sculpted Harry, Ron, and Hermione are also silicone bodies. So that price discrepancy is like, where's this coming from? Like, yeah, it's limited, but that doesn't, I mean, I guess you could, it's like economies of scale. Well, we are only making X amount, so the cost is, higher, I guess. And it is a unique sculpt. It's not like the exact same Harry Potter figure with different clothes. So credit where credit's due. It is a different figure. But I don't know. It's just that price tag is crazy for literally getting next to nothing. What, 2 hands, a broom, and 2 Quidditches? Like,
and at least the InArt versions come with those beautiful dioramas. So yeah, they are children's size, but they're coming with some extra beefy things to almost justify the price.
Yeah.
Whereas this, like you said, Dean, is just super bare bones.
Right. And I do think, again, I want to correct this. I do think, Dean, the light versions, I don't think those are silicone. So I do think the higher end versions, the Kojin Works, and then the Kojin Works Light, which is a little confusing, but essentially those have the sculpted hair, the light version, and I think those are just not in silicone. Like, I don't know, maybe whatever.
I could have sworn I saw the, like, I don't know if you have the picture of it with like the Harry Potter, just the head.
Oh yeah. I'll get the light version up. I have it on the JND website, but
I could have sworn it was like a seamless
I think it might
silicone
be.
thing.
But yeah, because I know the version I'll show you. The CEO put it up on his YouTube. But I can bring that up. It was on. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll bring that up. But yeah, I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong though. But again, that maybe ties into the communication. Maybe that's our fault for sort of missing that. But it's
Yeah,
one
I
of those.
just
Yeah, this is the silicone one with the rooted hair, as you can see.
right.
So you can see it does have that silicone neck right there.
Yeah, I could have sworn we were looking at the sculpted ones and they were the same thing because I thought to myself like, okay, well, what's the benefit of getting just the rooted hair?
I know they did fix Hermione's knees, like InArt did. So
I can't believe they led with it not like this.
Again, not paying attention to the community. So Hot Toys doesn't really communicate with us, right? But at least it feels like they're out there watching. They don't always correct everything we want them to, fix Black Suit Toby, but they're at least like making corrections, and it feels like they're reading the market. Whereas JND, I mean, with this one, adjustment, it seemed like they've reacted to the market, but for the most part, it just doesn't feel that way.
Right. Yeah, and I think so, Dean. I don't think the light versions are silicone. I think the premium KojinWorks versions are, but I don't think the KojinWorks light ones are. But I do think they have that seamless neck like you're talking about. I think it's just one big neck piece. I think it's one big neck piece.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to look for.
Are you looking it up? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, but I mean, either way, regardless.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I kind of like the Quidditch version, and I do think for a diehard Harry Potter fan, it might be worth it to them. But it's just. To me, it's a lot for basically getting very little. Again, with every InArt figure, because like JND has invited that comparison openly.
Yeah, I was looking at and I was like, I thought that was seamless, but I guess it's just plastic.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, I will say this, they've clearly wanted to do whatever InArt has done, and I don't know what that whole strategy is about, but I think that they've clearly invited those comparisons. Maybe they want to say, oh, JND versus InArt, and they want us to put them in the conversation because of that. But, at the end of the day, this figure is not going to be for me, but I do think it could be for the right audience. I do like the base. I think the head sculpt is better than people give it credit for, but it's just, I mean, I think Ron is super off, personally. I think Ron is very off.
I think Hermione is the only one that looks good.
Really? I think Harry looks the best.
I don't see Harry.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Hermione's
especially in the Quidditch one, I don't think that looks anything like this is somewhat passable. I don't think the Quidditch one is passable at all.
Okay. The smile maybe makes it, but see how the silicone sweats? To me, it's like, should we maybe just ditch that and do something maybe do more like what InArt's doing? If you can make that good of a head sculpt, just ditch the silicone. Is it necessary? I mean, that's what I'm wondering. It seems kind of more almost like a gimmick at this point, but I've never owned one, so I can't say definitively. But I don't know. It just seems to me like it's making it's like almost worsening the sculpt somehow. That's what it feels like. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Guys, none of us are getting it, right? None of us are getting this. Okay. Yeah.
No chance.
But the chat, if you're getting that, let us know. I mean, honestly, if you're getting it, I don't think it's a bad figure. I just think value-wise, they are asking for quite a bit. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we got a couple super chats real quick. We're going to address those, move to our next topic. X-Men Supreme, thanks so much. JND already has a void to fill, the grave they dug for their overpriced, underwhelming Bigfoot quality photo taking. Dude, that's some harsh words right there. X-Men Supreme, thanks so much, bro, for the super chat, man. Yeah, honestly, they do kind of take photos from a helicopter sometimes, but I do honestly think that they can do good work. They just got to, I don't know, maybe meet us in the middle a little bit. I want them to be successful, but right now it's just not going well. X-Men Supreme, again, I'm going to say JND doesn't deserve to be in the conversation. Let them go and smell their own farts in the corner. Yeah. Sometimes what's happening too, this happens for every company, but I do feel like with JND, they seem to have this really dedicated fan base that's really in love with JND, and anything you say, they kind of get, they're not happy about it. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see kind of what they cook up in the future. Guys, let's move on to a release this week. Hopefully I don't upset some people here. So this is the Hot Toys Rocket and Cosmo figure. And I gotta ask you guys the question, look, Hot Toys posted saying they updated the figure. There's some changes, there's some improvements, some updates, right? But are they? Because I saw this, and actually Sideshow did a first look unboxing, right? They improved the scaling of Cosmo, and they changed the head sculpt for Rocket. Marco, I want to let you and Dean give your thoughts first, because I have my own, but I want to hear you guys out first. So, Marco, what do you think? Are you satisfied with the changes to this Rocket and Cosmo in this update? What are you thinking here?
Yeah, so I don't completely remember what the rocket sculpt looked like before. Was it just a reuse of the previous, like the end game version?
It was a reuse. I think it was a reuse of the first one. I got to check,
the
but it
first
was
one.
a reused head
Okay.
sculpt. I do know that. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Endgame maybe only had the screaming head sculpt, but
Yep,
yeah. So
it
this
did.
is honestly, it's fine to me. Like, I don't love the smirk. I would have liked something that's a little bit more action oriented instead of like him just hanging out. But I get he's supposed to go with Cosmo. They're kind of having a good time. Cosmo's happy. He's smirking. I thought that this set was already pretty overpriced, and I guess that's going to be a common theme of my points here is overpriced. Everything's overpriced these days, but I thought the set for what you got was fairly overpriced. But I think Rocket looks fine, honestly, and I like the updates to Cosmo. So I have no objections personally. I know this is a hot take show, but I'm not going to be the one with the hot take this time. So yeah, I think it looks perfectly fine to me. I'm not upset, and I will be getting this one. But yeah, no notes really on the head sculpt minus. I would have liked something that's a little bit more ready for action. But Dean, what do you think?
I will say, Marco, Kiko is the hot take guy, not necessarily me. I come in
the
sometimes with a take. I mean, I say the sequels are goated. That's a hot take, right? I mean, but other than that,
shout out to Natalie G, my cousin, not my cousin, by the way, who definitely says this figure is going to be a grail. So I might have one of those in me today.
That's fair. Dean, what do you think?
I fucking love this so much, dude.
Nice.
So I got the end game version of Rocket, which I still really like, because I was like, oh, his outfit kind of harkens back to this look. It's I want to say a little different, but it's actually very different. And to me, I was like, yeah, that's kind of like my ultimate. Like, I don't need another Rocket. But this figure looks so good, dude. I love the head sculpt. It's the perfect amount of attitude. It's super cute. I also happen to really love raccoons, and also my dog Kevin kind of looks like a raccoon. So
he's basically a raccoon.
He's
Kevin, disparaging Kevin.
That's a compliment.
Yeah. Maybe so.
And I think the Cosmo is pretty soft. Like, he doesn't like the fur. If you look at the fur on Rocket versus the fur on the dog, it's almost like two different companies made those each one. It's kind of weird. Like, Rocket has a lot of like crisp sculpted detail, and then the dog is very like round. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't look that great. But
yeah,
I mean, you're getting a dog, so, and Cosmo's super cute, so I don't hate it. It's just not as good as I think.
It's not Einstein though either.
You're not wrong. It's no Einstein. But
yeah,
I'm kind of like, man, do I just like buy the head sculpt separately and have it on my endgame Rocket, or sell my endgame Rocket for next to nothing and pick up this figure?
Dean, I think you misgendered Cosmo. So
is it Cosmo a girl?
Yeah, did you say he? Yeah.
I could have sworn it said she.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll have to consult the tape then. Either way, it's fine.
Yeah, if I did, I mean, I know she's a female, but if I said
it's a dog, dude, it's totally fine. You're not gonna get canceled.
But fuck, I love this Rocket. It's so good,
dude.
Because that was kind of my biggest complaint with the endgame version, was they didn't update the head sculpt at all.
Yeah,
I think it comes with two. Does it come with two or just
one for endgame? Yeah,
yeah,
and
it was
one.
this. Yeah, and it was like, well, this is just, yeah, that's right, the screaming one. And I was like, that's just, it's the exact same head sculpt as for Guardians 2. Because Guardians 1, his mouth was closed. Guardians 2, he was screaming. And then for Endgame, he was screaming again. And I was like, I still like it, but I just love that too cool for school smile this figure's got. Like, I can't say enough good things, but I also am a huge sucker for Rocket. So yeah, I'm fighting every urge not to buy this figure.
Dude, buy it then, man. If you love it, I think that it's. By the way, GG in the chat, Marco. Shout out to GG.
Oh no! All right, let's not ask what I got this week then.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly, dude. So look, someone's got to play the Kiko card. Someone's got to play the Kiko role since he's not here. I don't like this at all. I think this looks absolutely terrible. Look, I'm sorry. I try to be as optimistic as I can be here, Marco and Dean. I always try to be positive, try to look on the good side, just in life in general, right? But this, it looks like his face melted. Like I am so, look, this was never going to be a Rocket that I was going to add. And sometimes maybe there's some credence to the idea, like the people who are the most critical are the ones who are not going to buy it. Fair enough. Maybe. I don't know. But I will say, I look at this figure. To me, this looks very Marvel Legends to me. I'm sorry. I'm happy for the people who want this. This head sculpt originally, I wasn't happy with either because they reused the Guardians 1 head sculpt, which I thought was like, what? The Endgame Rocket I had, that one was like decent. It was never great, right? I think this is just a really hard character to do sculpted. If you're going to do it and somehow root it, make it look good, that would have been something, but that would have been way more expensive. And do people want to buy an Artisan Rocket? I mean, probably not, right? So, I don't know. It's just kind of like, and I look at Cosmo. I love Cosmo as a character, actually. And I love Rocket as a character, to be honest. But I just look at this head sculpt and I'm like, like it just, and I know Kiko agreed with me not to use him as a crutch, but I do want to say, like, we had this conversation ourselves about this. And I was like, am I missing something? People seem to like it, but it's not for me. If you like it, great, you should buy it. But for me, I think it looks terrible. Honestly, I'm just going to be blunt about it. I really don't like it. I don't think it really looks like Rocket. I think it looks very cheap. It's just not for me, right? But I do think at the end of the day, for the people who like it, like you, Dean, you should buy that shit, dude. Buy it, love Kevin, love Rocket, have a great time with it. It's just not for me. It just looks very cheap. That's what I would say. I mean, look at Cosmo. How do you make a dog with all that fur and make it sculpted and make it look good? It's hard. That's really difficult. So I mean, it's
hard though.
It's always going to look cheap. I feel like I mean, and it kind of does.
Rocket's fur looks fine.
Does it? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like I think, and look at Cosmo. Like Cosmo's like suit and just fur and stuff. It just looks so toy, and that's like, you know, I just, you know, I don't know how you do it. I think they probably did the best you can possibly make a Cosmo, short of actual rooting it with dog hair. But I mean, it's like, I just don't like it personally.
I guess the problem is it's a 2-pack with 2 figures that kind of feel like accessories, right? Like Rocket's costuming is nice enough that he maybe stands alone, but you know, for the price that you're paying, I get what you're saying, Will, that it does feel cheap, but you know, most of their accessories are normally, they're not great, right? We mentioned the dog from Back to the Future, and then Salacious Crumb I just got with C-3PO.
Right.
Not great, right? It
looks like a toy, right?
It looks like a toy, and it kind of falls in this category. So even all that being said, okay, acknowledge it's overpriced. I would rather have the plasticky version like this than them trying to do like, of course they're not going to do rooted, but if they did flocked, I think is the term, like those little toys that are fuzzy. I wouldn't really want that. I feel like that would look cheaper in my mind. So This is perfect. It's not for everyone, but they are kind of accessories to go along with the other figures that you're going to get. So it's almost like an overpriced accessory pack that's letting them off the hook, but I'm not as offended as you are for sure.
Yeah, and I get it because this is they probably did their researching and testing where they said, like, you know, R&D, where they said this is the best way to do it. Maybe they tried the hair another way and it just looked like shit. I mean, like, it's like, you know, but someone was saying in the chat, like it's almost like making a sculpted Chewbacca. That's kind of how it feels. But I think it's like, I don't think there's a better way to do it. I think Hot Toys probably did the best they possibly can with this. It's just a hard character to make. I mean, it's like, you know, but I do think on the shelf, this is going to look good for people. But when I look at it, I love Rocket as a character. He shouldn't, like, you're right, Marco, he shouldn't feel like an accessory piece, but he does. Like he's kind of become a main character at this point after Guardians 3. But I don't know, man. It's just
Rocket.
Yeah, I think so. You saw Guardians 3, right?
Yeah, Rocket's always been a main character. What do you mean?
I mean, I think in the first and second films, he was always there, but I don't think he was like the lead character. That was always Star-Lord. But I think in the third one, he felt to
I feel
me
like in the second movie, he's like second lead because most of the movie is about their attention.
Maybe. I mean, well, because at the end
that's
too,
not a maybe. That's for sure.
Wow, Dean's really.
I also really love Rocket. Also,
that's fair. Yeah,
I
go
went
for
and
it.
checked the tape. I did say he. I apologize.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Canceled officially. Canceled officially.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, I know exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's fair. I think to me, at the end of the day, like it's definitely one where, Rocket has become, at least for me, one of the really important characters just in Marvel in general. So I'm excited to see him moving forward. I'm excited to see what they do. It's just for this one. I don't know. I don't know how you make him better, but I just had the Endgame one. That one, they overproduced clearly. So it wasn't, what more could you do with that? But
yeah,
nonetheless,
I got that figure so cheap.
What, Endgame?
Yeah, Endgame
Yeah,
Rocket.
dude, like $100 probably.
They're
Maybe
rolling
like
out.
120 from Tim Sense.
Crazy.
Yeah,
He was selling them like that for a while, Dean. Yeah, like
a
he was
long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I got it like, I think like the month that came out.
Wow,
Dude,
okay, for that low.
Yeah, it was
because
kind of crazy.
it's crazy to look at now for the people who have just joined the hobby. Like looking back at the overproduction of 2020, like 2020 to 2023, maybe like it's everything is just like way overproduced. So you can get everything. Like even Shang-Chi came out like a year or two ago, and Wenwu, those are super cheap. I mean, you can because they were overproduced. So pretty much everything, but especially Endgame and Infinity War. Endgame and Infinity War were massively overproduced.
That was the pinnacle
Yes.
of overproduction.
The Mark 50, there are 8 million of them out there. I'm convinced. I mean, it's, and then they made them all Iron Stranges. So yeah, so there's those too. Guys, let's talk about, and I saw the Defund Collecting Weekly campaign in the chat. So that's awesome. But guys, let's talk about the D23 Ironman. This is the Avengers Campus Mark 80. And I want to ask people, is this just another Ironman or is this something unique and special here? Because, like Kiko's take, obviously he had a very strong take about it. Again, this is D23 exclusive to the Mark 80. Looks very similar to the Mark 85. I was actually surprised to load up this morning and saw that Justin already did a review on it. He got it very, very fast. So I was excited to see that. So he did a comparison showcasing the Mark 85 on the right and then the Mark 80 on the left. He does come with a shawarma, which people are pretty excited about. People always love their food accessories. I got to ask you though, Dean, I'm going to start with you on this one. Is this just another Iron Man, or is this something unique and special that collectors really, is there a justification for buying this one? What do you think?
For me personally, and I said this on our show, this is it's not anything you see on screen. So for me as a movie guy, it's like it's not even tempting in the slightest. It's like, well, it's just what the guy wears around at the Disney park. So it's kind of like a novelty at that point. Like that's not Robert Downey Jr. That's some guy that happens to work at Disneyland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
that's Mark as Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the yeah. It's is it cool? Sure. I mean, Hot Toys makes cool figures and they make really cool Iron Man figures. Does it look cool? Yeah, I mean the Mark 85 looks cool and it's basically the same thing. There's some subtle design changes, sure. But yeah, just in terms of how I collect, Kiko was pretty harsh. I don't know if I would go that far, but I also see his point.
Right.
It's kind of like to me, this is exactly the same thing as Neon Tex. It's
okay.
like, I know what that suit is, but it's nowhere on screen. So, there's no point in me collecting it. But for a completionist, an Iron Man collector, yeah, sure, I could see the appeal.
It actually is Dean up on the Disney store, which saw someone in the chat say, I wasn't aware of this. That's awesome, though. So $400, it's coming.
Oh, nice.
August 12th for pre-order. I'm guessing it's going to sell out pretty quick.
$400's not bad.
No, for an
For a
Iron Man
die-cast Iron Man. Now you're
Yeah.
not getting a ton of accessories.
No.
I mean, not even extra hands. Usually they come with what, 8 hands.
Right. That energy
You-
sword looks like a reuse from the Mark 50 too. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
100%.
Yeah.
You're not getting a head sculpt. I mean, the
No.
mask doesn't even pop up. So, I mean, it is kind of bare bones. You get some paper accessories and some shawarma. Thanks, I guess. The base is almost, okay. But I mean, again, $400 for a diecast Iron Man, that's really not super terrible.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, but it's funny, Dean. You look at the Mark 42 2.0 that just got announced. That's $490, but you get so much more stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
way more
for
stuff.
$90, you get a lot more stuff, like battle damage parts, a head sculpt, interchangeable weaponry. Dude. Yeah, this is pretty cool too. But this is some reused Mark 50 shit for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you
Mark
got
50,
the energy sword.
Mark 85. Yeah.
That's basically what this is. It's a combo between. It's a baby between these two suits, essentially. The guy
Yeah.
wearing it at Disney.
And
So
the crazy thing is, between Endgame or Infinity War Endgame, there's 30 some odd suits.
yeah, they could make
So
all
Hot
of them.
Toys could make all those suits. Now, if they're designed somewhere, I don't know if that's true. But I mean, that kind of this opens that floodgate. Like, hey, there's 30 more suits we never saw. Maybe Disney has them somewhere in a folder. It's like, here, Hot
I'm
Toys,
sure they
make
do.
them all.
Yeah, Marco's shaking his head already.
Well, not wrong. So, like, in that aspect, it's kind of cool. But again, never saw any of those on screen, so why should I care?
I'm mostly with you, Dean. I'm pretty much the same type of guy. Like, if there's got to be like a connection I have to it generally. Sometimes you see something in, and I get people in the chat who say that, like, this just looks really cool when I want it. That's fair.
Yeah,
it's just a different way of collecting. Right. Like
yeah,
you said.
Kiko's was like, don't even bother buying it. And if you buy it, you're a fake collector. Like,
I think
if somebody wants to buy it, like I said before, it's not my money.
This is way cooler than the black and gold Iron Man too.
Oh,
in my opinion.
Marco, what do you think about this, dude? Where you say, because Dean has a very fair take, I feel like. What are your thoughts?
So I hope Gigi's not still in the chat because I kind of like this. I'm not gonna lie. It's
Disney
of course
store.
it's lazy. It's super lazy, right? Like it is just kind of a combo of the 50 and the 85. Totally. It's not even different enough from the 85 to super justify a spot on anyone's shelf, right? But as a fan of the Disney parks, one thing I got to say, and we brought the actual guy in the costume up on CW. He looks like shit. Like the costuming is not nice when you go to Disneyland. So.
Not the guy, the outfit.
Not the guy
Well,
himself.
The poor guy.
Just a correction.
He's getting a paycheck, all right. But yeah, the outfit looks terrible, honestly. So I don't really have a ton of nostalgia for that specific suit. And I couldn't have even said like, oh, it's way different than the 85. I just assumed it was the 85 anytime I've ever seen it. But I think that this is like the exact type of thing that they should do for a con exclusive. It seems like you're going to be able to get it on the website. So thanks for sharing that link. And I will just say anyone that's going after this, Disney's website on those drops can be super finicky. So just keep spamming the add to cart. And I've been successful trying to get a lightsaber set, like an Ahsoka lightsaber set for a friend, but it took me forever. Just press it. It was sold out. Just add to cart until you get, so brute force it. But yeah, all that being said, like I see nothing wrong with this. We're getting all the Iron Men. This is just another one to add onto the pile. It's for the hardcore Disney folks. It's for the hardcore Iron Man folks. And it's one that if you miss out on, who cares? So it's like perfect. And the shawarma is a nice little accessory if you want him to go along with your churro Spider-Man, which was a little bit different from all the other Spider-Men that we had seen, or different enough that I felt like that one justified the chase. This one, I don't know that the price is going to skyrocket in the secondary market, but I could be wrong. Collectors are crazy. So maybe this one just becomes an insane chase piece because they produce so few. So yeah, I see nothing wrong with it. I like it. Not going to come to the collection, but it's a cool concept at least.
And I think, Marco, that's very fair too. I mean, I'm with you. I do think, honestly, this looks cool, but I personally would never buy it. It just wouldn't be for me because, like Dean said, I'm exactly with Dean on that. It needs to have a connection to you in some way, right? And since this never appeared on any screen, maybe if you love going to Disney parks, that could be something. If you love going to, like you said, Dean, like if you love going to Disney and you go there all the time and you just fucking hang out with Iron Man, then you could be like, okay, like I have a connection to this. And I think the suit looks cool. But beyond that, I think it looks really great. If you love it for that reason, you want to buy it. Everyone collects differently. Do your thing, man. I think that's great. It's just not for me, but I do think, again, it looks very sleek. It's Mark 85 and Mark 50, 100%. It's just combining the two and making a new suit. I mean, this is what D23 is, honestly. I mean, they had Captain America the one year with his proportions all off, and then they have this one. They have Churro Spider-Man. And those are all good figures in their own right, but you're always going to get like just sort of a slight variation of an existing suit or figure. Like that's always what it's going to. So I think sometimes I'll be like, oh, they're going to drop Corvus Glaive this year for D23. And it's always Iron Man, Spider-Man, right? Like that's just what it is. So,
but imagine if they did that though, and you missed out and you had to chase it for like 20% or more on the secondary market. You'd be annoyed, right?
I'd be annoyed, but I would do it. I would do it. Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, I'd be the only one where if the Black Order dropped four Dopo in the same day, dude, 100%. Like I would get all of them. So, yeah.
Or like, what if they did the Chewbacca with the C-3PO, you know, from right? Yeah, exactly. Like that would be
Empire. Let the record show it's
Empire.
Because I said Return of the Jedi and I got
okay. There you go. I was gonna make a joke there, but I didn't want to get canceled as well. Dean's already gone, so
yeah.
But yeah, so if they did something like that, and they said, okay, like you could only get those two together in that exclusive pack, people would be really pissed off. And so I think this is just under the radar enough that it's just inoffensive. And if you want it, cool, go get it. And if you don't, whatever.
And there's been so much fire this year, Marco. It's kind of like, this one's cool. I mean, again, but the question to me would be like, hey, as we're about to move on, but like, hey, like if you can get a Mark 85 for so cheap, which you can, is it worth getting this one when you can get the 85, when you can get it for like half the price probably? I mean, I've seen Mark 85 selling for super. You can get a Mark 85 for super cheap. I mean, it's like
$200 almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Mark 50. Even the 85 battle damage you can get incredibly cheap. Like it's, because they overproduce them. So, but yeah, Dean. So if you're looking for this one or Marco, like, I mean, I would say just get an 85 or 85 battle damage. But that's just me. I mean, hey, maybe this one you like more. But X-Men Supreme.
Iron Man.
You have which one?
The 46.
That one? Do you have the 2.0 or the original?
The 2.0.
Oh, dude. So you have the cool base. I like that one.
I wish I had the original one, but they were just so expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I couldn't justify the price. And then it popped up when the 2.0 came out. Sideshow had some crazy sale and I got it. What did I pay for it? Like $360 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I got a pretty good deal on it, but
yeah, I mean, because they were discounting it like for 15 or 20%, I think, at one point. Yeah. So, but I mean, it's still a great option with 2.0. We have that Mark 46 reissue guy to thank for that because he commented that on every.
Yeah, dude. Because I didn't start collecting. I think that's about when I started collecting. Was when Civil War came out, and
it's like 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I had a chance to buy one. I didn't take it. And I always regretted it. And then by the time I was like, that is the Iron Man I want to get, they were just too expensive. So
yeah. Well, X-Men Supreme gave a super chat. Thanks so much, bro. D23 2025. Chimichanga Deadpool. I honestly would not put it past him. Chimichanga Deadpool. That honestly sounds like a great idea.
Has he eaten the chimichanga on screen before?
I don't think so. He should, though.
I feel like he should. Like, fuck.
Yeah, he should. Dude.
It's like Sonic the Hedgehog and chili dogs.
Yeah.
It's like Deadpool and chimichangas. Like, they go hand to hand.
That honestly is a fair point. I mean, I would say, honestly, like, anything that Deadpool does is hilarious to me at this point. So, chimichanga, whatever it is, I think it's great. I can't wait to get that figure in. A lot of people have been getting it from Hong Kong, and I'm jelly, but it's fine. I'm going to wait for mine like a patient collector. So, we're going to do that. Guys, yeah, I know, exactly. Let's talk about this because, again, I'm not the most knowledgeable on this IP, as people know. It's not my favorite. But
most things.
Just the sequels. The sequels and Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, God of War. Dino says I say the same video games. It's fun fucking with him. But yeah, so I will say Batman 89 release, and I've heard a lot of controversy around this figure. So maybe if the chat or you the panelists here, know a little bit more about 89 than I do, maybe you can speak to that. I'm going to bring up some photos of the final product of the Michael Keaton 89 Batman. And to me, it was never labeled a 2.0, at least on the product description. But to me, it seemed like a 2.0, right? It seemed like a remake of the original figure with improved proportions and armor and stuff like that. People were just pointing out inaccuracies with the figure in terms of the armor, the head sculpt, stuff like that. The cowled look, the head sculpt, right? So that's something I think that, we just wanted to look at here. Marco, I got to ask you, bro. It seems like it's a controversial release because there's a lot. 89 Batman's huge, man. People really love their Michael Keaton Batman. To a lot of people, he's the best Batman. He's goated Batman. But, to me, I think this looks good. But again, I'm probably ignorant on this subject because I'm just not the biggest 89 Batman fan. I'm a Christian Bale guy, Christian Bale stan. So, Marco, what do you think? Should this be a controversial release? What are your thoughts on it?
So I desperately want to be the hot take guy today, but I did a little workout before this, so I'm feeling really zen, and I just don't have it in me to let the hate flow through me like I wanted to. Yeah, so I just have to be honest. Like, I understand that people are very passionate about this version of Batman. For me, Christian Bale is that guy, right? And the Heath Ledger Joker is that Joker where I want it to be as perfect as possible. But for this one, I think it turned out looking really nice, honestly. I can understand why people are upset with the texture. You wanted it smooth. I thought that the prototype images had it textured already anyways, right? Maybe not as severe. So that was something that was in my mind already, that he would have a bumpier texture than, compared to the return suit that's supposed to be smooth. So they're different suits. This one is better articulated. The likenesses look better to me. The colors look better. The proportions look better. The cape is better. So I just see this as an upgrade across the board. But I do not begrudge people if they're saying, this didn't meet my expectations. I'm very passionate about this character. I need Hot Toys to do better. That's perfectly fine. And I encourage everyone to constructively use your voice to, state that displeasure to Hot Toys and let them know you're not happy with how this came out. But for me, I just got the 89 Batmobile. This guy is going to be sitting alongside of it. I am grateful that these are two pieces that I didn't have to go chase on the secondary market and, worried about all the issues that older figures may have. So yeah, overall, I'm just happy to have this in the collection. I think the base looks great. So I want to be worked up. I want to, feel everyone's anger, but I'm just not there with everyone, fortunately or unfortunately. But if you are, then go be constructive and let your voice be heard.
Yeah. And I'm with you, Marco. Like, as someone, again, who doesn't know this IP as well, to me, this looks great. Like, I look at this and I think this suit looks really, really good. But, to people who are more passionate about the franchise, then, I could see why people might be disappointed because they might be looking for, accuracies that I might not be able to identify. Right. So I do think, to me, this looks great. But again, it's not for me. So I do think for the people who want it, hopefully it satisfies you. But Dean, are you an 89 Batman guy? I don't remember.
I am not. I actually am a recent Batman fan. Now I did watch the movie when I was a kid because, my parents, let me watch the stuff kids were into, and Batman was one of those things. But I was never like a diehard, like this is the fucking greatest movie of all time. So it wasn't until I want to say earlier this year that I rewatched 89 and was it 92 or 93?
Was this for CW when we did it as a movie of the week?
So was it Batman Returns, right? Isn't that the other one, the sequel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty fresh on the scene, right? I don't really remember it when I was a kid. I just remember watching it. But in terms of like loving it, I actually do. I really enjoyed watching these as an adult. I thought they were great. Very campy, but I think that's kind of what makes them special, right? They're almost a little silly.
They are of their time, right?
Yeah. Like, you can't compare this to Nolan's Batman. They're not
very different tone.
Yeah. So like for what they are, I do really enjoy them. That being said, I'm not an expert, but all the people, my buddies Manny and Eric are huge Batman 89 fans, and I'm in a chat with them, and they go back and forth about all the problems this figure has. And I they know way more than I do. So all I could say is like, oh, okay, well, that sucks. And compared to, I guess, the first version of this figure, well, there are improvements, right? Like articulation wise and stuff. I feel like a majority of how you enjoy these figures are with your eyes, right? They look like they came off screen. They look like a tiny version of that character standing on your shelf. You take pictures of them and put them on your Instagram. Handling the figure and posing it is fun, but that's such a small part of Hot Toys that I think it's a huge problem for people that this looks the way it does. Some of the faceplates, the likeness is just way off. It's not, I mean, I know what Michael Keaton looks like, right? So like even I can see that. As for the
Are you talking about the one with that looks like the little girl in the car seat?
Yeah.
Which one is that? The
one that's
he's like showing his teeth. He's like,
yeah.
Oh, the one on the right hand side. Yeah. Okay.
No. That one, that's like where he's all beat up. It's another faceplate.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. There's 3. Is there more than 3?
Yeah, those are the two the same right there.
That must just be a better angle of it, right? Because I hadn't seen that angle.
It okay. I see
there it is.
One. It's
that one.
There you go. That one. That one.
The one on the right, I think, is great.
Yeah,
it looks like him. It looks good.
Yeah. As for the suits, all I can do is listen to people that know what they're talking about, and pull up screenshots of like the movie. And I don't feel like it's that lumpy in the movie. Like in screen grabs of, when my friends are showing what should look like this. It's like, I see what you're saying. It looks very smooth. Now, I'm sure Hot Toys has access to photos and props and all kinds of reference materials that, we don't have. So it could look a certain way to them in, the studio lighting or whatever they have. So I don't think Hot Toys is in the business of just making shit up, So no. If they say it's lumpy, I kind of got to go with, well, I mean, they have the license, right? Like DC's not going to just let them make things up. So
will this forever be known as the lumpy Batman, though? It's like the bird shit
just Robin and lumpy Batman. Now, yeah.
Now, objectively, I'm with you, Will. I think it looks cool as a whole package.
Yeah.
When you had everything, on the video, it was like the base was on this.
Oh yeah, I'll bring that
all
up.
The accessories.
I said that too. What the fuck? You're not with me?
No, fuck you.
Yeah, Marco.
No, I love you, Marco. I'm with both y'all. This as a presentation looks really cool. I like the base. I like the gargoyle. Batman's cool. I like Michael Keaton as Batman. Like, I would not be upset if I added this to the collection. But I guess it's just up to each individual collector if it meets your standards. Because if it doesn't, then you shouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
I always say vote with your wallet. If you don't like something, don't feel like you're forced to get it because, well, it's the only one I'm going to get. It's the only one on the market. One, it's not the only one on the market. And two, don't reward behavior you think is bad.
It's true.
Speak with your wallet, dude. 100%.
Yeah.
That gargoyle is thick, though, dude. like seriously,
yeah.
What the fuck happened? Dude, that's a gargoyle booty right there. Damn.
Oh, my.
You
know what I always think of? Sorry, go ahead and finish your point. And then
you go ahead.
Zach has this story of he went into, I think it was Steven's Collectibles, and someone was buying the Star Ace Homelander, and he's like, the guy was just so happy to have it. And so sometimes I feel like we're too close to this hobby, right? Like we are just too close to every little detail of these figures, and they're expensive. So I get, we're going to want to nitpick, and it is one of our hobbies is criticizing the hobby before we even, or criticizing the figures before we even get them in hand. But this guy was just kind of like ignorance is bliss, paid full retail, so happy to have it. And I'm like, man, sometimes I wish I was just like that, where I could just be like, all right, well, it's a representation of a character that I love. It's good enough. I'm going to put it up on the shelf and be happy.
Is it not?
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead, Dean. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, there are definitely instances where I have figures on my shelf that are just good enough.
Yeah.
Because like, let's just say, I don't know, this Marvel Legends Deadpool.
It's a good figure.
It's not a Hot Toys. It's never going to be one. And it's good enough. Like, I do happen to have a Deadpool in 6 scale, but like, if I didn't have that opportunity, like I would be perfectly okay with this. So it is, like I said, it's really up to every individual collector to be like, I got to draw this line in the sand for myself.
Yep. It's your money.
That's fair. Well, isn't it, Marco, is it not the store owner's responsibility as a humanitarian to not let that man buy that Homelander? Because like I feel like you have to step in and just as like you know what? Yeah. Like with maturity.
No, it should be Star Ace that says we shouldn't have sold this to anybody.
Yeah.
Because how's the store owner supposed to know that figure is going to be garbage? He just puts in an order. People like the boys, people like Homelander, let me order that figure. But someone will buy it.
It's like if you lived like in a really small town and you didn't have a lot of girls around, and like you dated one girl and like, dude, she's the hottest girl ever. And then like you went to like a new town and there were just actual more women there, and like your perspective changes. Like,
but if you stayed in that town forever, though, she would be,
yeah, she's a dime. She's a 10.
Yeah, but she also might be your cousin.
That's also true. It'd be like Hills Have Eyes up in there real fast. Exactly.
How close are we talking? Second or third?
So I mean, like two and a half cousins away.
There you go.
But guys, we got a super chat real quick. We want to address real quick. So this X-Men Supreme. Thanks so much, bro. Very generous. I appreciate you. The Proto had better texturing. The big problem with 89 is that the 1.0 did the texturing better, and that's pretty sad. That is pretty sad. When did that one release? That was like 10 years ago, maybe. I don't know. I think it was before
10.
Yeah, I think it was before I was collecting. So and also it was again, I'm not the biggest 89 guy, so it's not one that I've ever really gone after, but that is bad, X-Men. If you're saying that the original had better elements to it than this one, and that was done over a decade ago, not really a good look. So Michael Gerard, thanks so much, Michael. I appreciate you, bro. I saw this in 89 as a kid. Yeah, so nostalgic values. This is definitely a Supreme Grail for me. The suit texture is fine, and most may need a drape cape. Okay. Well, dude, there you go, man. Some people are happy with it, some not.
I feel like every single Batman that comes out is infinitely better by buying a different cape.
Yeah, probably. That's probably
every
true.
Every Bale Batman, every Affleck Batman, every single time. I don't know what it is about capes the Hot Toys can't really get in terms of Batman, because like their Superman capes are okay.
Yeah.
Even like the Mandalorian's capes are great.
Yeah.
But for whatever, I guess because Batman, you have to like, he like spreads his wings,
he does spread his wings.
But like, even like their Darth Vader capes, well, no, because I've definitely replaced some of my Vader capes.
Yeah, the Vader capes too. Yeah, they're not always wired, like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, InArt made a good Batman cape for Pattinson, but it's fucking huge. So it's like you have to really kind of work all the wires. It's almost too much power. Yeah, but you got a point, Dean. A lot of people like there's what is it, Jason Hugh or whatever on 1/6 Kid who makes the capes. Like I think there's Sam or Jackson, whatever his name
Jackson
is.
Hugh,
Yeah. So so those guys make, he makes really good capes, and I see a lot of custom capes out there, and they're pretty inexpensive. You might pay like what, $70 or something, like $80.
If that.
Yeah, right.
And those really elevate figures to the next level. Like,
yeah,
they'll go from like that's a cool looking figure to that looks like a dude in a suit.
Right.
Like a miniature person.
And I've seen custom 2D, like you said, Darth Vader ones that do the same thing. Darth Vader ones where you can wire them and just make them look fucking sick.
Oh, I have one. I'll send you a picture of it. It's
okay.
So
Let me know, because if there's a really good one, I'd consider it. I mean, I have the Kenobi Vader, so I'd consider it. But that one the battle damage on that is kind of pitiful, to be honest. It's like a little scratch on the back. But I didn't really care. You're never going to see that. I mean, they just took like a knife and just went, okay, yeah. So
I pre-ordered the deluxe one the other day.
Oh, the battle damage one, the new one.
The like most expensive one.
Honestly, dude, that's kind of a really good figure, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like I honestly wish that I don't really. I'm going to stick with Kenobi Vader. For me, I have more connection to that. But you know, that one is great.
Yeah.
The show is ass. Let's be real. But I will
Yeah.
say that scene is great. That scene is great. I love
That's
that
pretty
scene.
cool.
Yeah, I love that scene. Even the fight choreography was okay, but it's more the interaction between Obi-Wan and Anakin that I loved. I thought and this is the dialogue. That was like the only scene in the show that had great dialogue. I felt like that was like just, you know, yeah, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. Like it was just, yeah. It was
should have been a movie. It could have been so
100%.
pieces. You don't introduce young Leia, get that out of there, and just condense it down to a 2-hour movie.
I saw, Marco, someone edited it into like a movie and it was like great, apparently. Like everyone said it was like so all the content is there. It's just like not arranged the right way. Like it's like, so
too much filler.
Yeah, exactly. We got another super chat from 12-inch Moose Dream. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate you, bro. Even though I have DX09 and Bat returns, I accepted conversion. It has more height, at least a better faceplate, and kick-ass star armor. Just need Vicky. Yeah, dude, honestly, man, hey, look, I think it looks like a great figure to me, but again, everyone's a little bit different. And, you know, if you're a bigger fan, you might look at some of the like I might be that way with Kylo or Loki, right? I might look at that and be like, okay, or Last of Us figures. I might be like, ooh, brother, ooh, like I don't like some of it, but brother, ooh. Orcs Collection, by the way, I think this Moon Knight cape is great. Honestly, Moon Knight's cape is really great. That's one of Hot Toys' best cape works, honestly. So really, really good cape. Guys, people, I guess this kind of just came and went, but there was an Artisan release, which I don't think people realize, because we've said for the longest time, we've been waiting for the first Artisan figure to drop. It wasn't the one we wanted. It was Batman Imposter Joker, but it did technically release and people do have it in hand. So, you know, we can at least look at this one and see kind of what the rooted hair and overall overall packaging looks like. That's what I think is really exciting because, again, Sideshow did a first look unboxing of this one, and they showed the head sculpt comes in something very similar to what InArt does. It looks like an acrylic container with the head sculpt where you twist it off. So hopefully that's stable. I've had an InArt figure or two that arrived rattling around in the little container, which I don't love, but we'll talk more about that. But I think, honestly, again, we're going to have to see how this looks in hand. I'm not getting this version. I'm assuming this is the Joker head sculpt you're going to get with the actual Joker figure. I think this head sculpt looks absolutely awesome. I am super excited to get this. I have a fellow collector who's selling me this figure, and I cannot wait for it. Marco, I got to ask you, bro. Does Artisan live up to the hype? I know this isn't the Artisan. It's not Anakin. It's not Jack Sparrow. It's not Joker. It's not Loki. It's Batman Joker, imposter version. But is the Artisan, is that hype of the Artisan line, the expectation, is it being met here from what you're saying? What are your thoughts?
So I want to tackle this in two parts. So first of all, let's talk about the head sculpt, right? Because that's really all there is to Artisan is rooted head sculpts. Now, I'm really impressed with how this turned out. The Wonder Woman that they did, the Warner Brothers 100, I think the hair looked nice, but obviously the hairline was a little bit suspect. Here, I see people complaining about, you know, it not being true to Heath Ledger's Widow's Peak, or, you know, his hairline should be a bit lower. But to me, that's not a huge deal. I think this looks amazing. I'm really glad I decided to get this figure. This is one that I was like, all right, it's very gimmicky. But man, this sculpt alone is worth the price of admission, I think. I was scared about the Artisan line because we saw it at a few cons, right? We saw the Joker and we saw Anakin, and the hair was kind of all over the place. So the fact that these are seemingly coming to collectors like this looks beautiful. Like, this is rivaling what InArt did with their rooted head sculpts. I'm not ready to say that it's better, but it's feels nearly as good at least. So there's that. So I'm more encouraged by the Artisan line. Since we saw the release photos of this, you know, I went after the Tom Holland Spider-Man, the Black Widow. Like, I am in on the Artisan lines or Artisan figures moving forward. I think that, you know, they've got something here. What we do need to see, though, is better improvements in materials or something more to set the line apart from just the rooted hair, right? Because this is definitely just a repaint. The head sculpt doesn't necessarily fit on the body perfectly. From this review that we saw. So there's a lot of issues with just this one alone. And I'm sure moving forward, you know, the rooted Anakin, everyone's going to be over the moon when they get it, but it should have been real leather. Like, there are pieces that Hot Toys should be, you know, doing to move the needle. But at the same time, they've got no incentive to do so because these are selling out right away, right? For the most part. So they're flying off the shelf. So I'm happy with the Artisan line. I'm in on it, but I do want to see some improvements beyond, the hair sculpts. But man, this figure is pretty awesome. I think it's underrated, and I will be like Natalie G. This is a future grail right here.
Honestly, Marco, I had the idea and I thought, oh no, that's silly, right? I had the idea. I was like, what if I buy this just for the head sculpt and then sell the body and the other parts to another collector? I kind of wish I did that now, because this actually fits. People showed it. It fits on the InArt body. You can put it on the InArt body and it looks fantastic. To me, I'm ready, Marco. I have not had this one in hand, obviously. I'm ready to declare Hot Toys the winner here. Like, I'm ready. Like, I think I'm pretty much ready. Like, honestly, I want to see what their Joker tailoring looks like, because the tailoring could be worse than InArt. But the head sculpt, I feel like I've seen enough to make that declaration, but I'll see how I feel in person. The hair, honestly, yeah, you could style it maybe a little bit with this one, like maybe bring it in just a little bit, like tuck it, I guess, on the neck a little bit more. But yeah, I think this looks great, man. This figure is not for me, but this head sculpt is for me. So I can't wait to get this. I am still getting JND though. Me and Ben Thomas getting the JND.
The only two people on the planet.
So yeah, we got it. But Dean, I know this is
not.
Sorry,
ahead, before Dean goes. So I have a sculpted Joker from InArt, and I think that I'm gonna put that head sculpt on this one, and then maybe put the InArt head sculpt on the imposter Joker. So we'll see.
Okay, that might work. That might work. Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see if they're compatible or not. But
yeah,
this head sculpt it's beautiful though. I'm really happy to have one.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I love this. I do think though, looking at it, I feel like Sideshow has a paint scratch on the nose there. I don't think I saw that on proto photos or blogger photos and stuff. I am hopeful that this head did not rattle around in the case and Sideshow just didn't say so. That could be, because I mean, that does happen sometimes with the InArt figures. I've said that, like it happened with my Harry Potter. So some of these companies, I feel like maybe the way to do, I don't know if this is possible, like, put it on the little headpiece, right? And then wrap the entire inside of the case with like bubble wrap. Right. So if it does come loose, then everything is just going to rattle around in bubble wrap. Right. Like that to me would be much better than hitting acrylic over and over. So I don't know, but then you don't get the experience of unboxing it and looking at it through the little cylinder though. But I'd rather it be safe than not. Anyway, regardless, Dean, does this first Artisan release live up to the hype, bro? What are your thoughts? Or you're muted still? I know Joker's your favorite, so
yeah, Dean, think twice. Think twice before you besmirch this Joker.
I actually was very nice to this figure when I first saw it.
You were.
Can you pull up a picture of like the full body?
Yeah, I can do that. So let's see if there we go. A little bit further. There we go.
The only thing I don't like about this, and maybe I just couldn't tell in the promo photos, is the black undersuit. I don't know what it is, but it makes everything else jump out, which I guess is the point. But I feel like in the promo pictures, like you almost couldn't even tell that it was black. I thought maybe it was kind of like the same color as the cape. I don't know. Something about it. Maybe it's just this lighting that I'm like, ooh, I don't like this. But in terms of like the Heath Ledger sculpt, I gotta be honest. I don't know like if it's better or not. Like the likeness, I'm just not the guy to ask about this. Like,
you're not wrong.
If you guys say it's better, like, sure, I think it looks like Heath Ledger. I think the InArt one looks like Heath Ledger. Like, I don't know, like, which one's better and what. Like, Ben, sweet, beautiful Ben Thomas.
Did someone call my name?
Yeah, that's Marco, actually.
He pre-ordered the JND because he's like, I think it looks more like Heath Ledger. I was like,
right.
I guess it does. I don't know. I don't think it looks more like him. I think they all look like the Joker.
They're different artist interpretations of the likeness, right? Which is kind of a cool concept.
And I think the JND head sculpt might be the best, but we'll see, Dean. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's a cope. It's probably a cope, but we'll see.
But that all that being said, like I think this figure turned out okay. I think it turned out good. Was the DX Batman's or I guess the Batman remakes, whichever Batman this is, did those come with a fabric undersuit like a spandex undersuit? Because it looks like this one articulates better than the Batman's does.
I honestly don't remember, Dean. It's a great question. I had the DX19. Marco, do you remember? You have the DX19 still?
I do. And what was the question again, Dean?
Is the undersuit like a spandex or is it like a
Yeah, it's like a
vinyl?
spandexy type of material. I'm looking at
I guess
it
when
right
it's
now,
all black, it's harder to tell. Because
Yeah.
now that armor is popping out at me, I'm like, oh, the undersuit is like totally different than I thought. Yeah, like it's like, okay, his mouth is open there and his mouth is not open there, but they both look like Heath Ledger to me. Like, you know, like I don't know, I'm just not the guy, I guess.
Right. Yeah, they both look great though to me. I mean, the InArt is still very good, but it's just to me, I think the Heath Ledger for the Joker, for Hot Toys looks a lot better. Person, that's just me. To each their own. I saw some people in the chat kind of having different opinions, but go ahead, Dean. Sorry.
Yeah, I do like the where his wrinkles are, like his skin creases.
Yeah.
Look crisper on the Hot Toys as opposed to the, I guess it's InArt on the left here.
Yeah, InArt on the left, Hot Toys on the right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that. I guess it feels more realistic on the Hot Toys than on the InArt, but I also like the InArt hair a lot more. It's like green. The colors are more vivid, but I feel like in the movie, like his makeup's like pretty fucked up the whole movie. So the Hot Toys makeup looks better, but like there's pros and cons to each one.
Right. Right. It depends on the scene, Dean, because with Heath Ledger, like he had some scenes where it was really clean and neat, and then some scenes where it was really messy. Like, in the street where he's like, hit me, that's really messy. But then like, when he's in the original scene with the pencil, like that one hits pretty clean. So but yeah, it just kind of varies. So like that's why when any company makes a Joker, they almost have to pick which scene they're going for because like the makeup changes a lot. So
yeah, I mean you could almost buy every version of that character and have different head sculpts for whatever scene you're going for.
Right.
And I plan to.
Same Marco.
Yeah, like
same.
But is it worth how much is this figure?
The Batman Imposter version. So say you get the Artisan Joker from Hot Toys, the regular one. I think it's like $560 out the door, probably. So it's a lot, right?
Yeah, and then this one.
And this one's probably like $500 out the door. I think something like that.
Okay. I think I know where you're gonna go, Dean.
In this lighting, the undersuit doesn't stick out as bad. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It almost does look like the same color as the cape. It's kind of muted. But I guess it's just that harsh white background and that light on it looked really weird. But is it worth a $500 to get an extra head sculpt to pop on another body?
Good.
Look how good that looks. Come on,
yeah.
Dean. Like this is the InArt body with the Hot Toys head sculpt on it. I mean,
I still
it's better. I already declared
it's the shoes.
InArt has waved the white flag. I'm saying that at this point, it's like I think Hot Toys won. Personally, that's just me.
What was
I'm not ready to declare that yet.
What was the Hot Toys DX?
What do you mean? The DX? Oh, the Joker one. The DX. Was it 11? I think it was 11.
I think it is 11.
DX 11. That one had actual shoes.
Oh yeah. And it had a laughing head sculpt, which no one seems to want to do. JND's done one, but no one liked it. I liked it,
but it's like I can't get over the shoes on the InArt. It's like, guys, come on, plastic shoes. You got to do better than that.
I mean,
but it does feel like
that's the only thing I really don't like about the InArt.
And you don't want the shoes to flake too, so I guess I'm okay with plastic if that means it's going to have more longevity.
I feel like I've never seen a DX11 with flaky shoes.
I think that's a common issue, but I could be misremembering.
That figure was great for the time.
It was. It still holds up. There's still pieces in there that you can't get with any of the other releases, right? The table chair, there's a lot. The
laughing head sculpt,
like you said, yeah, exactly. But I feel like Carlos shared, the custom that he did recently.
Mm.
I'm tempted, right? Because now I'm spending so much money on Jokers. It's like, you might as well just spend like $1,000 and get a custom head sculpt, because those look significantly better than these, right? Like, these are about as good as you can get from off the shelf. But if you really want perfection, it feels like custom's the only route.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, I think this looks really great. I think, again, the Hot Toys head sculpt looks great. And I honestly, the JND one, they've posted updated photos of what the final product should look like. It looks really, really good.
Guys, I think I'm doing a full 180 on this figure in this lighting. I think this looks really good.
You like this better in this lighting?
Dude, that lighting was so bad before.
The sideshow one. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Dean's
it looks
getting
pretty
this
cool.
confirmed.
Yeah, so,
Definitely
yeah.
not.
Well, I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, because sometimes, like, you know, the white gives it a really natural, I guess, like sort of like studio look to it, right? But sometimes that's not usually how you're going to view it in your collection most of the time, right? It's going to be under different types of lighting, not as harsh. So I kind of like this. But shout out to Jim Collector, by the way. He did this review, so shout out to him. Again, I think it's cool, man. I've kind of grown on this figure. I would never buy this, but I should have bought it just for the head sculpt, because I would put that fucker on my InArt right now. Like, I would do. I think it would be worth it, Marco, just to get the head sculpt for this. Like, I don't want to give Hot Toys ideas, but
yeah, especially because at least if you got this, you have a unique Batman body. But if you get the regular inner or the regular Hot Toys Artisan Joker, it's the same outfit the InArt comes with.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, if all you're gonna do is swap the heads, it's like, okay, so you know what I mean?
Yeah. But that does look good, though. That does look good.
What's with this foot?
I think he just got to put his foot down. Yeah. I think he's just standing up right now. That's all.
He's just doing a shuffle.
Yeah, exactly. He was shuffling around. That, you know, Joker's unpredictable. He just does that stuff. So, but guys, yeah, thanks for your thoughts on that one. Thanks to the chat for the thoughts on that one. We're going to move on. We got 2 more topics for you, and we got just enough time, I think, to get through them. Let's talk about 2024 so far, because we're pretty close to entering Q4 sometime soon, right? We're getting very close to that. And I think we've had a lot of good announcements come out this year. And I want to kind of recap that and just kind of highlight some of the excellence that Hot Toys has put on display this year, because Hot Toys has announced shit that we never in our wildest dreams thought was ever going to be made by them. And you know what? It has been. Let's bring up some examples. And this list is by no means exhaustive. I do have a list that's keeping track of all the announcements from this year, but these are just some of the highlights that I thought, you know, for me, and just also for what the community has said is really important, because I don't give a fuck about the Clone Troopers. I got a lot of shit for that one, but people love that. So I put a 5s on here anyway. That's for you guys, for the 5 fans out there. So this, and again, let's think of the big picture about this, what this means for your wallet, right? What does this mean for your wallet moving forward? And for the pre-orders, and if you only paid a deposit, what does that mean in 2025 or 2026 when all of these things start shipping, right? So we need to start preparing for that now. Regardless, Marco, I don't mean to sound hyperbolic here. I'm just trying to think. I don't know when you started, Marco, but Dean and I started collecting around the same time. I was like, I think 2018 is what I said in my collection tour. I think it was around there, maybe slightly before, as far as Hot Toys. I collected other stuff, cosplays, lightsabers, and stuff before, like Dean, I'm sure. But, you know, since then, I have not seen a better year for announcements, not releases, but announcements of new figures being made. Marco, has there ever been a better year in your recollection for Hot Toys announcements? Because just look at this fucking list, dude. This, there's been so much good stuff, Artisan and otherwise. Grievous, Revan, a new Jack Sparrow, an Artisan Black Widow, the best head sculpt I've probably ever seen in that Hugh Jackman figure. Marco, what are your thoughts, dude?
Yeah, so to clarify, I started collecting in 2020, so totally a pandemic collector. No regrets. You know, it's gotten out of control since then, but it makes me so happy to collect these figures. So I said this on CW this week, where it's wild that Hot Toys, with kind of a lack of really big tentpole films to make figures from, right? We obviously have Deadpool and Wolverine, but the Acolyte, we haven't seen any figures from that. So Star Wars is pretty dormant. Marvel is pretty dormant this year. DC's non-existent. But they are going back to all the different crevices of properties and pulling out some absolute bangers, right? Like, I am blown away that Hot Toys is this good this year. I think we were maybe speculating last year, like, oh, it might be kind of a refresh year. You know, everyone can get calibrated. Hot Toys was like, fuck that. They're like pedal to the metal. We're not going to let you think. We're going to give you limited releases where you got to get it that second. And they have not given us any room to breathe. And this is not even including, you know, we just saw that Terminator. We saw the Chewie that was teased, the Batman Returns. Like there is potentially a lot more heat that's on the way. And it's kind of exhausting. It's definitely scary. But it also feels miraculous, again, that Hot Toys is humming along at this level. When people were kind of counting them out too, it's like, oh, InArt's coming for their lunch. Now JND is going to be in the ring. And they are just, I don't want to be a Hot Toys fanboy because I appreciate all the companies, third party included. But man, they're just kicking our ass and just really just putting out so many great figures. So yeah, I'm with you. This probably feels like the best year in terms of Hot Toys figure announcements and pre-orders that we've had, and even drops too, right? The figures that they've released coupling with these, it's just we're eating too good right now. So yeah, it's at some point it might be these figures are my marriage, but I got to get another Joker, so we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, she'll understand. She'll understand.
She'll understand.
But I'm with you though, Marco. I mean, like this has been an amazing year so far, and again, we have what, 4 months to go. Like, dude, Best might not even be here yet. Like we said, we're still waiting on Chewbacca, we're waiting on Terminator. That Predator, they announced that was going to be made. Jar Jar Binks, right? Like, what type of collector ever thought like, oh yeah, we're getting a Jar Jar in 2024, dude? There's no doubt in my mind. Or I never thought in a million years they would make a Revan ever. Like that's why, like honestly, I want to buy 2 just to be safe, like just in case, like something they never make him again, which I doubt. But
true,
dude. Honestly, I'm getting Revan, Jack, Hugh, Grievous. The Darth Vader's iffy, but probably not. Darth Maul, Loki, Han, Starkiller, Deadpool. I'm getting most of these figures, so my wallet is going to be hurting. But I've already paid them all off, so we're good. I prepared.
There you go.
But yeah, I prepared ahead of time. But Dean, what do you think, bro? Is there anything here on this list that I know Revan excited you, but has this been a really good year for you personally?
Yeah. Obviously, things like Starkiller and Revan are far and away, I think most people never saw that coming. Hot Toys has kind of consistently done movie and television stuff. I mean, even with Star Wars, they have done video games, but not anybody that matters. It's usually just troopers.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Recolors of troopers from Fallen Order instead of, you know, Cal Kestis, or a shock trooper instead of Iden Versio, or, you know, what have you, whatever it is. Like, they haven't really done anything that really counts in terms of video game Star Wars franchises. So that was really like, holy shit, they're doing it. That felt really good. The Grievous, that was only a matter of time, right? Like,
yeah,
especially with how terrible the sequel trilogy did. Not in terms of people hating it, but the figures just didn't really sell.
That's true. It's true.
They were in stock forever, except for like Rey and Kylo, and I think those were like the only figures they made for the last movie were Rey and Kylo. Well, I guess they did the Sith Trooper, but
troopers, yeah, but that's it.
Yeah. So, or the Praetorian Guards or whatever. But no, that was the second movie.
That was Last Jedi. Yeah.
But yeah, it was like they're definitely going to dip the well back in the prequels, and they went pretty hard, right? The Jar Jar, that is real surprising. I don't think it's actually like been announced, but it was like, holy shit, Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Like actually seeing it, I was like, that's kind of crazy.
If we're seeing a proto for something, it feels like eventually we may get it. Minus the N1. Obviously.
Yeah, it might take a few years.
Right. Because Kid Fisto was in the graveyard for a couple years, right?
Yeah.
So maybe longer.
Yeah, and me and Zach were talking about this the other day on our show. One of the first episodes we did of Collecting Weekly, and we're on like episode 300 something.
Damn.
So we've been doing it a while. One of the first episodes we did, it was like they showed Padme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that figure took forever to come out, and it finally did.
There's hope for Corvus Glaive yet. Yeah, Corvus Glaive's getting made one day.
Now here's one, and I know you've kind of included the clones to appease people, but
Yeah.
here's what I will say about the clones. Again, Hot Toys has really only done movies and TV shows, but not animated TV shows. So people that really like clones expecting Echo and Fives as ARC Troopers was like, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to buy the Sideshow ones. And it wasn't until I want to say the first Clone Wars figure was Ahsoka, season 8.
I think so. I think that sounds right. That sounds
yeah, I was
right.
like, holy shit! They're doing Ahsoka, and 2, it's an animated character. Holy shit! And then that opened the door for all these clones that we're seeing, right? Like Jesse, Echo Fives, the Bad Batch, right? Holy shit! So to see ARC Troopers from Hot Toys is actually like, because I'm a clone guy. You're not a clone guy, so
yeah, it's true.
It is actually pretty wild to see Hot Toys doing.
Are you getting those, Dean? Are you getting Echo and Fives?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, a lot of people went crazy for them, so I'm happy for people that are getting them.
Well, people are still selling the Sideshow ones for like $500, which is fucking crazy. It's like,
right. Consider what they were going for. Weren't they going for like 1,000 or something? Like,
yeah,
they were going for a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I could get both of them for less than $500 from Hot Toys. Like,
right, and they're better probably. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love Sideshow clones. I have 15 of them. I would buy the Sideshow ones. I feel like there's nothing wrong with those figures, but not for $500. Just get the fucking Hot Toys.
Yeah, there you go.
So I mean, Darth Maul, we've seen that figure a dozen fucking times.
No, this one looks so good though.
This one looks amazing though. Yeah.
It does look better, but it's
and the last one was incredible too.
Darth
The
Maul.
last
I still have it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, does it look better? Sure, but is the other figure terrible? No.
That's
but I will say,
great
like,
about it.
Honestly, Marco and Dean, I think everyone's going to try this. I want to keep that figure. I think the new head sculpt is going to fit on it. So and it comes with 2 head sculpts, a Screaming and a regular. So I think
Are they magnets?
I think so. It's magnetized. So I think I'm going to keep the old one and then put the Screaming head sculpt on the old body, and then put this one on the new, and you have 2.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Joker, Joaquin Phoenix Joker, bro. I don't know why it took them so fucking long to finally do this character. Holy shit. Because everybody and their mother who had a 6-scale company made this figure except Hot Toys. So
this may technically be from the second film though, right?
I think it's first film. It's first film because it's Murray Franklin. So it's got, I mean, I guess there could be a flashback, but it'll be from the first.
We saw
film.
a flashback in the trailer. But anyways.
Maybe you're right.
The battle damage Vader, I think, is pretty.
It's Kevin.
Yeah, he's getting upset. Sorry, my sister's walking around. He's getting mad.
Okay.
But just in terms of like, I don't know, Black Widow or Deadpool and Wolverine, like, are they cool announcements? Sure, but it's like, well, their movies were coming out. Well, Black Widow didn't have a movie, but it's like,
but the other 2, yeah.
Yeah, those are like, no, Han Solo though.
Mm-hmm.
Considering how much Harrison Ford hates Han Solo,
yeah,
it's actually crazy we're getting another one.
As he gets closer to death, I think all his non-starters are like, whatever, just give me the bag. I want to leave my family as much money as possible. He's going to be in a Marvel film. Come on, as a whole.
That's what I was like. Wait, you're going to do Marvel, but you've been like resenting Star Wars fans forever. Like,
right. It was probably they offered him a lot of money. I think they were like, well, they had to reshoot the movie like 4 fucking times. They were like, let's Harrison Ford and Giancarlo, and we're good. That's we just got it. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. I think Dean, y'all have great points here. Just to wrap up this topic before we move on to our last one, how many from this picture are you guys getting? Because I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 of these out of the 14.
God damn, dude.
Yeah. And they're all paid off. So yeah, expensive.
Revan, Grievous, Vader, both the ARC Troopers, and I want to get Deadpool.
Okay. Yeah, he's still available. You should get him, dude. He looks great. I'm super excited. Well, you have Deadpool too, I think, right? Yeah. So
I'll be right back.
all right,
Yeah,
no
I have
problem.
Deadpool too.
Marco, are you getting a lot of these?
Yeah, so more than I want to admit. I think Gigi's in the chat, but I'm getting 9 of these,
9.
and then I still want Grievous as well. So that's one that I haven't
You haven't
ordered.
pre-ordered Grievous, dude.
No, I know it just
Incredible.
He looks so good. He looks so good.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of those, figures that if you don't get, you might, regret if you've got attachment to the property. Like I've got minor attachment to the prequels, so
Okay.
he looks so good.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Revenge of the Sith, so to me that's it's a must-have. So
It's the
I
best
think,
one of the 3.
dude, 100% it is. I think it's one of the best Star Wars movies. It might be my second or third favorite Star Wars movie. Which I know people. I told Kiko this. I was watching Empire on the flight back, Marco, from San Diego, and I was like, it's maybe not quite as good as I remember it being, but I still enjoyed it. Like I still liked it.
It's of its time,
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
a classic. And
Empire's still great, but it's just like I did watch Rise of Skywalker again. That film's fantastic. I gotta say, Dean came back at just the right time. I really love that movie.
It's no
But-
Last
Those movies
Jedi.
age
I
like
will-
milk in the sun, dude.
Yeah, maybe depends on who you ask, but so anyway, yeah, I'm getting 10. Dean's getting like 4 or 5. Marco's getting 9, so we're all in trouble. So I want to talk about someone else. I don't think they're in trouble, right? But I do think there is something at least to talk about here because Kevin's back. So I do want to say this, like there have been a lot of different conversations going on, honestly, since InArt's inception, all the way up until today. And we're like, what, a couple years in at this point since the Joker announcement. So there's been a lot of posts over time. I found some of them just in preparation for this live stream, just kind of looking up sort of what people have been saying, having QC issues, complaints about the delays, stuff like that, right? Eventually, people kind of change their tune here and there on different matters related to InArt. But I think overall, they've been a huge net positive. They certainly have their issues. There's no doubt about it. I've said that consistently. I've maintained it. Some of the QC issues, I guess I wasn't as aware of, and I hadn't experienced entirely on every single figure or anything like that. But I have seen more of them pop up, although not the majority. Like I would say like 90 to 95% of people are fine. And then like you get maybe a 5 to 10% range of people who have a QC issue with hands or a head sculpt or something like that. And then the delays. The delays are really starting to bother people. I know Kiko being one of those people. Kiko and I have talked about it. I know people are posting in the chat. Like Kiko is considering, I don't think he'll care about me saying this, considering canceling all of his InArt pre-orders because he is not happy with the delays and the waits and then just how long things are taking, which I understand. I understand people are frustrated with that. So that's why, Marco, I want to ask the question. Like, overall, do the pros of buying InArt outweigh the cons? Because I will say I do understand for the people that are waiting that are frustrated. I get that. It's been delay after delay. Batman originally like released in like March or April, right? And it's August, right? And a lot of people still don't have it. I understand that. So that's very frustrating. There's been delays. Marco, do the pros outweigh the cons of buying InArt? To me, they do. Even if I weren't getting VIP batch, right? I do think they still outweigh because getting the figures in hand, seeing how high quality they are, despite some small issues, I think they are. But I want to hear your thoughts. Where do you sit on this one?
Yeah, so I do think InArt is worth dealing with any type of the bumps that they're going through right now as a starting company, right? They're still kind of in their infancy. We can start using that. We could stop using that excuse here pretty soon because I feel like they would have had enough experience. Obviously, these folks have come from making statues, so they're not brand new to all of this. But in terms of the 1/6 figures, they're still sorting things out. I think that the quality is there for the figures. Now I have several InArt releases with a few more on the way, and I'm really happy with every figure that I've gotten. Like I think that they are very high quality. I don't know that the delta is as large between Hot Toys and InArt as certain folks may make it to be, but I do feel like they are a step above with a lot of their releases, from the materials to just the presentation. Like it feels like an extra premium tier of figure, which I really appreciate. I just think, the community is beginning to turn on them, and I think they need to be a bit more constructive with their communication. We love the fact that we've got access to them. We've got access to John. He's willing to answer pretty much every question, but I want to see a bit more structure to how they communicate with us. I loved that phase 1, the multi-phased lists that they put out before that they've obviously gotten away from. I'm sure that they don't want to do it again because that put them in a weird place because they're not following up on a lot of those figures. But I would like to see a roadmap of them saying, we're tackling XYZ properties. We're trying to do these over the next few years. we're going to get the first batch out at this time, and we want to get the last batch out by this time, and bear with us as we, you know, work through XYZ manufacturing issues. They could communicate a little bit more in a structured way, so we understand where they're going, when we're going to be getting our figures, the issues that they're having. So I don't want them to stop talking to us. I think it's been terrific. I liked the event that they did at Comic-Con. I like to be able to talk to their entire team. I think we need more of that transparency. But again, just have a bit more structure. And then a letdown was that we didn't see enough figures of what's coming soon, right? It's like a lot of things that we had seen before, and then Walking Dead, which were exciting, but it's like, show us what you got cooking, because I know you're doing a lot of stuff, and I get that there are restrictions with license holders, but I really need a bit more transparency into their roadmap. And I think other collectors do as well. And then people will calm the fuck down, because it's so easy to flip out when you're not, you know, sure where things are. But if they told you, hey, you're probably going to get it here in the next XYZ months, people might be like, okay, well, now I can expect it. It's fine. I'm third batch. I delayed a little bit on my purchase, so it'll be okay. I think that they're just a slight tweak away from making those folks that are feeling extra anxious a bit more calm.
Yeah, I think so too, Marco. And I do think at the end of the day, like, again, I do understand people's frustrations, and I do agree with a lot of those frustrations. Like, I do, and I've said that. I think that the delays are pretty extensive, but at the same time, like, again, I've also communicated the idea that these are high-end rooted hair figures, and I think the rooted hair is taking a longer time. I suggested on a live stream and to John directly, maybe ship out the sculpted ones first if that's the problem. Like, if the sculpted ones can move a little bit faster, why not ship those out first, get people sort of happy with their sculpted version, and then the rooted ones saying like, hey, you know what you're getting into, you're buying rooted ones, you're going to wait a little bit longer. I think at some point too, we also need to like go in, I think, with the right expectations when buying these figures, because, you know, like, for example, like if you're dating someone or any friendship, right, you accept people kind of how they are, and this is unfortunately, as of now, is how InArt kind of is. So if you're buying a figure, I feel like you need to go in with the right expectations. Expect lengthy delays. Expect maybe an off chance a QC issue. I don't like it. I don't think it should be that way, but I feel like that's how it is right now. And I feel like we need to go in and saying like, I'm not expecting them to deliver. They still deliver within a 2-year window, but as far as like VIP batch versus when third batch is, like, it could take 6 to 8 months, right? Which is not right, but it is how it is, right? So I think we need to go in with those expectations and understand that that's just kind of how it is for now. Because I think the problem is people are having expectations different from what's actually happening, and they keep getting disappointed. So I think if you're totally out on InArt, that's fine. But I feel like if you're going to buy InArt, you need to accept what they are right now. And this is what they are right now. They're making great figures, but they don't have a great production system. It's clear. They don't have a great distribution system. It's clear. So that's what I would say. Sometimes replacement parts take a little while. Like, I haven't even, like, my Harry Potter figure, I don't even know when I'm going to get the replacement head, right? So stuff like that, like, they are going to get it to you. I mean, I haven't seen them not to most people, but you know, those, I think that's kind of the thing. That's what I would say. Dean, I want to let you weigh in on this one. Where are you sitting on this one?
I feel like in terms of QC issues, everyone's got QC issues. Hot Toys, Ahsoka comes to mind, Commander Cody. Like, no one's immune to, hey, sometimes shit doesn't work the way it should. So I don't know if that's making people turn on InArt. It feels a little more raw because of, you know, what you're paying for. But it's the delays that are really rubbing people the wrong way. That it's like, I mean, there's still people waiting on their Batman, and now people are already getting their Harry Potters. It's like, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on here? Like, you keep saying you're hiring people and you're working on this to solve the problem, but it's not solved. What the hell's going on here? So yeah, I feel like that is a little bit, that's a hard pill to swallow. for a lot of people. But I guess the second part to your question, what do you mean by that?
Like, do the pros outweigh the cons of the wait times, the possible QC issue, which I don't think is really like a mass issue. I think it's happening every now and then. But you know, the figures are exceptional quality. I will, my opinion. Everyone's different. So a lot of my InArt figures, I have a lot of pride in having those in my collection. They're fucking phenomenal. I mean, they are. Really
which is
you know,
the general consensus. I don't know if I've seen anyone get their figure in hand and been like, "This sucks."
Right.
Literally everyone is like, damn.
Kiko with his poofy Joker hair, probably.
Right. And that's why I told Kiko, I was like, if you already have the pre-orders, why not just see them through? Like, get other figures besides the one Joker that got fucked up for you, and then make your opinion. Like, I feel like instead of having this wide opinion on one experience, that, you know,
it's a rough sample size. I get his frustration.
Right. I get his frustration too.
I'll give you this example just because I'm fat and I like to eat.
Fine, dude.
If I go to a restaurant and I get something and it doesn't taste good, maybe I went on a bad day. Maybe the cook was off. Maybe I ordered the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I'll go back and I'll try it again. If it sucks again, I'm like,
I'll try it one more time.
That's kind of annoying, but yeah, I do have terrible luck. You know, again, maybe I ordered the wrong thing, whatever. If I go back a third time and it still fucking sucks, I don't go back. It just fucking sucks. I don't like it.
That's
so to your point, it's like, hey, this one pre-order didn't work out particularly well. And, you know, it's not apples and oranges, or it is apples and oranges, right? You know, if I go out and eat it in and out, it's not $800. So that's not lost on me. But
yeah, I mean, depends where you go, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little harsh to judge based on one pre-order, but like I just said, has not been just one. It took almost a year for everyone to get their Gandalfs. People still don't have their Batmans, and now people are already getting Harry Potter, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Where's all my shit?
And I could see how people would be pissed off where it's like, okay, Will has Batman and Will has Aragorn and Will has Harry Potter, and I'm still waiting on one of those. And I get like that's a really frustrating scenario.
And not only that, where's Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
Has anyone? I haven't seen anyone get a Bruce Wayne.
I have him. He's right behind me.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah,
I've only ever seen the Batmans.
Some people have Bruce Wayne. Some people do. Yeah.
That really killed your argument.
So it's like,
no. I'm joking.
But Will also already had Harry Potter.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's the VIP batch.
It's like,
I do get the frustration of that. Yeah.
You're announcing new figures, but you're still not getting out the old ones. And how long am I going to have to wait for the new ones if these still aren't even out? So yeah, it's I don't know if the pros outweigh the cons. Like, I mean, I always say, like, I already don't own something, so I could be pretty patient. But when it's a consistent issue that keeps being told to me that it's getting fixed and it seemingly isn't, like I just said earlier in the show, do I want to reward that bad behavior with money? I don't think so. But Will, I mean, you have the figures. If you could genuinely say, I think it's worth the wait, then, you know.
I do. Yeah. I do genuinely believe that. I wouldn't say anything I don't believe. Like, I'm with you, Dean, 100%. And you know, I'm trustworthy in that sense. Like I said, I even got some flack actually from people actually in my Harry Potter review, like 1 or 2 people that were mad that I highlighted the QC issue of my InArt Harry Potter head sculpt. Like, I think if anything, that's more transparent than anything else I could have said, because I could
Yeah.
have been like, oh, like everything was dandy and everything was
Everything's
sunshine.
super
Like,
perfect.
and
yeah.
then like, but it wasn't. Like, I mean, the head sculpt came rattling around in the tube and it got the little scratch on the cheek. Like, you probably wouldn't even notice it on the shelf. I don't think if I'd said anything, you would have noticed anything in the video whatsoever. But I said it because I feel like that's important to note. And I feel like as I've gone on with my reviews, like every once in a while, I'll be like, okay, there's a small little QC issue, but it, you know, and then as I've gone on, I was like, no, I feel like people should know this stuff. Like, I feel like this is like, you know.
Yeah, especially because a lot of people had that problem with their Joker.
Yeah.
Where the heads
with
were
the hair
flopping around.
Well, that and the hair too. The hair was fucked, but.
And then, and I want to say it was the Gandalf, they changed like the locking mechanism in the tube.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that didn't happen as easily.
Mm-hmm.
So that is important. Like, hey, this still can happen. So you're paying for the rooted hair.
Right.
So if there's a possibility that it's going to come damaged, especially because we can't get these from someone like Sideshow who can send us a replacement or easily anyway. I'm sure that there are retailers out there that will try and accommodate you.
Right.
But yeah, that's important to note. So
I think so too. And I mean, again, everyone can make their own decision. Like if you feel like it's not worth it, then don't buy them. I think you just need to go in right now. And unfortunately, as sad as it sounds, diminish the expectation a little bit on release time. Like I think overall it's still within 2 years, but as far as like when the first batch comes out to when yours gets here, unfortunately it's taking longer than it should, but that is the reality that we're in. So I think, I think, you know, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dean. I was just going to say, when they came into the game, they were advertising faster ship times, right? Like we're going to get these figures out quickly. And so I think
we're not delaying
that talking point. Yeah. That talking
they
point
have
is
not delivered on that
butt.
100%. Yeah. They've not, there's no doubt about that. They have not.
And,
like, I'm with you, Dean. I understand why people are upset as far as like, you haven't seen the fruits of the labor insofar as what John said about the increase in production. Like we haven't really seen the remnants of that. Like that's, you know, and that's why I think people are frustrated. But again, it's tough because it's almost like they're better off saying nothing. And to be honest, like if I were John, I might not even do as many interviews because I feel like what our reaction to stuff is sort of de-incentivizing them to ever talk to us because Hot Toys never sets any expectations. So we don't get our hopes up. Right.
Right.
So,
that was going to be my next point is Hot Toys isn't innocent of that either.
No.
Wanda, fucking Gamora, or Pennywise,
right?
Those are all figures that are like, where the fuck are these things? Like almost like a 2-year wait time on those figures.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, you know, be super mean to InArt, but when you have 5 figures up and you've only really delivered 2 of them, you know, at least Hot Toys has a fucking catalog of shit that actually gets released sometimes early.
Right.
You know, it's a little bit easier to be like, okay, well, that one, you know, 3 figures I could name off the top of my head. But InArt, it's like damn near every one.
Right.
So yeah, it's a little rough.
Yeah, it also depends where you buy from, but I do understand like Kid has only got about 10% of his Batman orders, his pre-orders, and it's been like 3 to 4 months, right? That I can understand the frustration there, and I agree with you. I mean, that's just how it is. But again, like, you know, I mean, if you like I've never seen anyone really, not many anyway, maybe a few here and there, very isolated cases, who did wait a long time, who got the figure in and said, I'm disappointed. Right. That's I think the key point that this always comes back to. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's annoying. It shouldn't be that way, but it is, right? But I feel like at the end of the day, if you're getting the figure and then you're still disappointed in it because you waited that long, that's the ultimate deciding factor.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Right. Like that, like because everyone waited fucking forever for their Gandalf, but they got that Gandalf, and almost everyone I saw said this is the best figure in my collection. Yeah. Right. So that's the decision that you as a collector have to make. Whether you believe to me to be a shill or not, I think that's a decision that you have to make. Like you have to say, am I okay waiting possibly 6 to 8 months for a first batch to wherever my batch is, if I think the quality of the figure is going to be worth that wait? If you're not, then don't order. If you are, then do order. Like that's honestly what I would say.
Yeah, it's like I said
argument.
Earlier, it's up to every individual collector. So.
Yeah.
You guys are being too nuanced with your argument, though. All right, it's black and right at this point. All right,
black and right.
Yeah, someone in the audience earlier said, it depends on how much you love the character, right?
Sure.
Like I'll wait till the fucking cows come home for the perfect Cloud figure, right?
Yeah.
Which, you know, I already got right, literally right there. 2 of them. But yeah, like, do I love Batman that much? Probably not.
Right. Exactly.
But that's me. Some people, Batman's literally their favorite character, so they could be like, yeah, I'll just wait.
Right. And that's why it can be tough, Dean, because like you said, if it is your favorite character and you're paying a premium price, it's hard to wait. I get that because you have anticipation and excitement. I mean, I get it. So it's hard, but it's almost like that's kind of where we're at. Like, and I don't want to keep setting people up for mismanaged expectations because InArt has honestly not delivered on that increased production so far. Like, to be honest, that's just how it is. Like, they have not delivered on, we're ramping up our production, we're getting faster. That's not been true so far. So, I mean, it's, you know, so yeah, we're just going to have to see kind of how that shakes out. But as of now, I think people, like I said, that's what I would say. I think we need to like manage our expectations.
Yeah. And I will just reiterate kind of, I don't own an InArt, but every single person I know that does has been blown away.
Right.
So they are delivering a fantastic product. Like you said, it's not like people are getting them and they're disappointed. They really are kind of a cut above. So, and if that's what it takes, like, hey guys, if you want the same level of quality that we're giving you, you're just going to have to wait longer. I don't know if people would be that upset, but say that.
Right. I think
Stop
that's
saying we're getting
1,000%
better.
right, Dean. I agree with that 1,000%. I think that's almost what they need to come out and say. Like, we thought we could produce faster. We can't. Honestly, this is just how it is with rooted hair head sculpts and our production capacity at where it's currently at in its current state. This is just how it is. If you're pre-order, you have to be aware of that. Like, I think
you set that expectation.
I think that's right. I think because the expectation has been set improperly, and I think that's why people are getting mad. So I think
that's exactly what Marco said.
So I think
they came out, hey, no delays, it's coming, and
I'm with you guys. So yeah, we all agree. So yeah, none of us are InArt chills, so it's all good. We've all been pretty fair.
Dean, maybe.
Yeah, me maybe.
I'm definitely not. I don't own any of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dean can't be. He can't be by definition. But yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We went a little bit over, so sorry to Marco and Dean that we ran a little bit over time. But thank you guys. We did get one super chat I want to address real quick. SJC, sorry, bro, it took me a little longer there. I got sidetracked with the topic here, so let me go back up. SJC asked a really good question. Thanks so much, bro. A $2 super chat. Which character would you buy over and over again?
Cloud
Loki.
Strife.
What would you say? What'd you say, Dean?
Cloud Strife.
Yeah, Cloud Strife. Of course, it's Cloud.
Wow.
For Dean.
I have like 20 of them.
Dude, okay.
Like, all different scales.
Kylo for me, Loki, Joel and Ellie, obviously. So what about you, Marco? What about for you?
Joker, baby. All day.
So you're getting
Joker,
JND, is what you're
baby.
saying. Yeah.
Well, maybe.
I got mine from Josh. I think he
Wow.
still has it up. So I think that's where I got mine. So
Yeah, because you're the only one that bought it from him. So
yeah, probably so. Yeah. I'm gonna have to ask him, did you get any other orders for JND Joker besides me? But yeah, so guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, HAC. So it would be Joel and Ellie for me, probably maybe Loki, Kylo, characters like that. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. It was great. Thank you so much for the support on the 10K subscribers. We'll do something special. I got to figure out what we're going to do. People have been telling me they want merch, like shirts or something like that. So if you guys want that, let me know. I don't even know how to create that, but I can probably figure it out. So if you guys want like a no printer shirt or something on it, or I don't know, people have been messaging me about it. So I said at 10K, I would consider that. So let me also know if you want me to get Advanced Suit 2.0 and do a review or a strangers video. Cause I think I'm going to buy that. People told me, Marco and Dean, that I should buy that figure as a gift to myself for 10K subs. So maybe I'll do that. I'm excited.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. I got to pay off a 2K Levi Attack on Titan statue. So that's part of my concern. So Sal said he's got me on the designs. Let's go, Sal. Okay, we'll talk, dude. We'll talk. Guys, thanks so much for joining. Marco, anything coming up at 166? I know you and Gigi are dropping the fire content, the hot take debates, everything on there, bro. The marriage counseling. Dude, anything coming up on the channel?
So hopefully a stream with Gigi soon, because I think she wants to talk about that Batmobile. But later today, in about 45 minutes, Ty, Uncommon Flex, and I are doing a podcast called Thank You for Collecting. It'll be on my channel, 16Fix, on his channel, Uncommon Media or Uncommon Flex, and we're also telecasting on CW. So we talk about a little bit about mental health, a little about collecting, Dean joined us a few weeks back. So yeah, just a fun time. So join us there. And then also we'll be hosting LWO later tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. So long day of streaming.
You're busy.
I know.
Yeah, Marco's on a roll. He's a stream all day. Consummate professional, dude.
Let's go. Just go all night.
Supply and demand, man.
Exactly. Marco's in demand.
Voice their opinion. They want more Marco.
They want more Marco. They want Gigi too, but she's in such high demand she never shows up. So
that's right.
She's too busy with laws.
She's like a diamond. You have to artificially hold back the.
That's true.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. That's sometimes what I do with the stranger videos. For one, it's difficult to go out there and film them. It's harder to get someone to go with me to film them. That's the difficult part. But people ask for them more, and I'm like, if I did them more, they wouldn't be as special. So I do them like once every month or a month and a half or so. So that's why, guys. Yeah, I try to do them. But Dean, I know y'all are cooking up some hot shit over there on Collecting Weekly. What's going on, bro? What's going on Collecting Weekly?
Yeah, so we'll have Marco on tonight. Tomorrow we're doing Baldur's Gate 3. Or damn near the end of the game, so it's getting pretty spicy. If you like watching people play video games, that's me, Zach, our buddy Billy Badfish, and my sister all playing Baldur's Gate 3. Monday, I believe there's an unboxing with Zach and Lane. Marco, do you remember what Lane was going to unbox? I forgot.
I don't recall, unfortunately.
It's something that just came out. What figure just came out?
Batman 89. Rocket and Groot, or not? Rocket. Just
maybe it
Groot
was Batman.
Probably Batman. Knowing Lane, probably Batman.
I think you might be right. Anyway, tune in for a surprise unboxing on Monday.
Maybe it's Deadpool. Maybe he got Deadpool early. I don't know.
No, I would have remembered that because I would have been jealous.
Yeah, I kind of want to buy that Deadpool again from Hong Kong. Like toys. Tim Sen's charging like $560. So I'm not doing
God,
it.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Yeah, so I'll wait.
Yeah. Tuesday we'll have the main show. We talk about the news throughout the week. So a lot of the stuff we talked about today, stuff like some Deadpools are coming broken out of the box.
I heard about
the
that.
ankle pegs. So if you want to hear about that, tune in on Tuesday.
So you're saying Hot Toys has QC issues?
Yeah, which I said that.
You did. You've been remarkably consistent.
Wednesday will be After Dark, where we just hang out and talk about our weeks, our lives, our trials, our tribulations, whatever. And then Tuesday will be movie of the what do they call that?
Movie night.
Movie night. Yeah, thank you, Marco. You're a consummate professional.
He is. Dude.
It's not even my channel, and I know more shit about it.
You're on the channel.
Yeah, you're part of the channel.
Yeah, you got knighted, didn't you?
Yeah. It's
anyway. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of content throughout the week.
Nice, guys. Check out Collecting Weekly. Check out 16 Fix. Both awesome channels, awesome dudes on both channel, and of course Gigi. Check out her on 16 Fix as well. I always like the real star. She is, dude. I like watching when she's on there because I like her sort of just like sarcastic approach, just her just giving you shit for buying these figures. It's entertaining, so I enjoy that.
Appreciate you, bro.
I wish I got to meet her when I was in San Diego, but yeah, maybe next time.
Someday soon.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, check out the collection tour I just did. It was fun. I just filmed that. It's 49 minutes long. So when I filmed it, I was like, okay, this is a good idea. I'm going to film about 30 seconds for each figure. And then I was like, okay, that would be fine. It added up to just like 49 minutes. So it's fine. You don't have to watch the whole thing if you're not entertained, but give it a go. See how you feel about it. I think it was pretty fun to film. New Strangers video eventually, probably in the next couple weeks. But beyond that, thank you so much for the 10K subs. If you guys want something for some sort of giveaway, I can consider that. I've been talking about that, considering that possibility. And I guess we'll see what we want to do. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Kiko will be back next week. We have 2 awesome, amazing panelists, consummate professionals this evening. So check them out. And I'll check you in the next week. So next Friday, same time, same place. I'll see you guys then. See ya. Bye. Thank you for watching another episode of Lights, Camera, Collect. Please make sure to click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And of course, check out my amazing co-host channel, Kiko Collects, linked in the description below. Thank you so much and see you in the next one.